Hey everybody, welcome to the Bonsaipopteam. My name is Mike.
My name's Tyler. Welcome to our anime and videos podcast. Technology, video games, yeah.
I have a couple of anecdotes before we get into today's relatively heavy subject material. First, Tyler, did I ever tell you that when I was in 4th grade, I tried to land my first girl by giving her a song and claiming that I wrote it? And it was by the Spin Doctors. And she knew the song.
So did it work?
No, she knew the song. She was like, you didn't write this.
Yeah, but she could have been like, oh, but I love this song.
She's like, this song has been on the radio fucking 20 times a day every day since 1994.
Well, I mean,
fuck, she's heard of the Two Princes.
You gave it a good shot, dude. It was a good try.
Okay, so yeah, but let me tell you about my hubris, right? Because after she called me out, I was like, don't worry about it. I'll be back and I'll really actually write you a song this time. So I came back with Blues Traveler.
Nice.
What the fuck song? I think that's what the name of the band was. It was Blues Traveler. Yep, it is. What the fuck was the name of it? Everybody, it's the only song by Blues Traveler.
I don't know any song by Blues Traveler. So
you definitely do.
Well, you can say that. Doesn't make it true.
They did the runaround before somebody else did the runaround. It's got a lot of harmonica in it. For you, honey, won't you give me the runaround this time?
Oh yeah, I know that song.
Yeah, everybody knows Blues Traveler. Yeah. Right, so I was like, here, I actually wrote you a song. She's like, this is Blues Traveler. It's like, fuck. I never wrote her a song again.
This was before you could just look up song lyrics on the internet easily, people. This was fucking smart.
I had to listen to the radio.
Yeah, Mike thought that he was gonna, really thought he was gonna get away with this.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been listening to Hits 93.7 or whatever it was.
Dude, this actually reminds me. I was thinking about this earlier. Speaking of before internet / dial-up internet, I was thinking about dial-up the other day, and I realized if you called somebody while in the dial-up era and you couldn't reach them, it likely meant that they were watching porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell when your friends were watching porn because you couldn't reach them on the phone.
Or, ironically, they were on AIM. Just texting people.
Or just not at home. No, Luthy, it's different if you call somebody and they're using their phone line for internet than if it just rings and they don't pick up.
Yeah, it would be meh, 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 or something like that.
You can tell. You can tell there's a difference. It's not just that they don't pick up. It's a different signal or whatever.
Yeah, you get one of those boo-doo-doo, this number, blah, blah. Yeah, something weird like that. One of those old fucking things. Yeah. Or they're either looking at porn or they were on AIM. Because back in the day,
looking at porn.
You had to actually cut off your ability to speak with somebody in order to fucking text.
Dude,
over the internet.
Remember AIM profiles?
Yeah.
Where you could make things all different colors and people would hide words at the bottom of their profile in the same color as their background and shit.
Yeah, and everything was blank X blank X.
Yep. That was super cool.
Dude, people did not want to let AIM die. People are still using AIM into Facebook days.
My very, very first girlfriend, we primarily talked over AIM, and all I remember is that her screen name was Cowgirl something, and in retrospect, that's really funny.
Dude, So this girl, right, that I wrote that song for, right, all by myself, without the help of acclaimed 90s musicians, the Spin Doctors and or Blues Traveler, she didn't let me have sex with her until we were 21.
Wow.
It took that long. So we were 9 at the time. So yeah, it took that long. It was a hard grind, but I finally got it, and then it was over with. I was
and then as soon as you finished, you were like, "Hey, I wrote this song."
It's this is what you call wrapping up loose ends. Also, she got me in trouble on AIM because in middle school, my parents read all of our messages somehow. And that's
Ooh.
how I was not allowed to use AIM anymore. That's how I ended up getting an email address at rock.com.
Rock.com? That's a thing?
Rock.com. So yeah, so back in the day, I mean, I'm sure you can still do it. Like back in the day, like most websites, you could like have an email address there. Or like a lot of websites, you could have an email address there. So I just like had an email address at rock.com.
Hold up. I'm going to see if I can get an email
still...
address at rock.com. It takes you to Rocket Mortgage, so I don't...
Rock.com's gone.
Yeah, that's too bad. I was absolutely going to make Bonsaipopteam at rock.com. New business email.
Fuck yeah. Dude, JM would have loved rock.com. It was all JM music.
Oh, speaking of JM and other people that are also in our Patreon, we have Alpha Sigma, Charles Le Social, Karis, Luthi, Omni Penguin, Sensei Kit, and the Cock Warlock, aka Mr. Loser, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
In the chat with us.
Mr. Cock Warlock was our Super Saiyan God or our lucky patron of the week.
No, Super Saiyan God, because he's in here. You had to bleep out both of the names of our patrons in the last video.
It was Jojo Cunt and the Cock Warlock. I was like, fuck. Just happened like that.
It's really funny.
Yeah. But my last little anecdote before we get into it is I was thinking as I woke up to do this podcast about how much time I've had Alanis Morissette stuck in my head over my life and what I would do with all that time back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would write a book about Alanis Morissette.
I was about to say, would you write a song?
I would write a book about Alanis Morissette and her great gifts to humanity. The hell did I... It's out of my head now, but I had it stuck. You know Alanis Morissette, right? Like,
yeah.
Little Pill. She did...
Yeah. All Alanis Morissette, yeah.
It's like rain on your wedding day. The ironic song that isn't ironic, which makes it ironic.
Dude,
she was like thinking. She was like on like Hannibal, fucking like levels with that song. She was like, I'm gonna write a song about things being ironic, and then all of the lyrics in the song aren't actually gonna be ironic, and that's gonna make it ironic. Don't you think?
Yeah, dude. She was thinking in the fifth dimension.
Yeah, it's fucking. Yeah. It's like 3D chess.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Also, Cole just joined. What up, Cole?
Hey, Cole. Yeah, but that's not the song that I had stuck in my head.
No,
it was the one. It was like, I got one hand in my pocket, the other one is a passenger. Whatever the fuck that was. And that's literally what plays over and over in my head. Because I don't know all the words, and that was probably the best part.
You just get that one line.
Now I got one hand in my pocket. Yeah, that one line that I don't know all of. That was the best part about those song lyrics.
That's how you know it's a good song, dude. Like,
yeah, I didn't get the song lyrics right, and she called me out for it. So not only did she call me out for stealing these songs, but also for getting them wrong.
Dude, nobody knew the song lyrics back in the day because you couldn't just look them up. You had to
buy the fucking album. Yeah. And not only that, but like I knew the Spin Doctors, but she knew the name of Blues Traveler. Like I didn't know that song was by a band called Blues Traveler because obviously I forgot after she's told me because I was like traumatized. That I failed twice to woo her with my songwriting prowess. But
dude, you know how long it took me to learn the lyrics to "The Middle" by Jimmy Eat World?
Wait, really?
I didn't realize, even though the song is called "The Middle," I never understood that he was saying "in the middle of the ride."
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I guess you're right. I don't really know the words to that either. It takes some time.
Little girl in the middle of the ride. Like, it's little girl in the middle of the ride. I knew little girl, and then it was just a blank spot, and then everything will be just fine. It's literally the name of the song.
like I remember like back in the day, like watching Blink-182 interviews, and Tom DeLonge would always talk about how much he liked Jimmy Eat World.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like listen to Jimmy Eat World, and I was like, this is like rock music. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like punk music. This is fucking rock music. You know what I mean? Like this is
Yeah, yeah.
like ball standard rock music. And there's nothing wrong with Jimmy Eat World. Like it's not butt rock. It's not even like 90s rock. I would say it's like closer to what's that band that did that song about doing like a bunch of meth and then falling asleep with your dick inside somebody? What's that band?
I'm not sure.
I know you know the song. Kit's gonna tell me who it was.
I probably do know it, but I can't think of it. Also, Cole says everybody should memorize "It's the End of the World as We Know It" by REM.
I think we just memorized it by that one line.
I disagree. Everybody should memorize "Shiny Happy People" by REM. Way better
God.
song.
Kit says what song? I said the one that was written by that 90s band that's about doing a bunch of meth and then falling asleep with your dick inside somebody. I keep wanting to say like 3 Days Grace or Third Rock from the Sun or Three Doors Down, but it's none of those guys.
But it's that sound. You have to sort of like, I'm a depressed white guy sound.
Creed would never sing a song about doing meth and fucking dude. Creed wishes they were that cool. What's that fucking song? God damn it! It's so. I bet you there's people screaming at me right now. It's not Drunken Lullabies. Isn't that by?
Probably.
That's by Flogging Molly, isn't it?
All right. So
no idea.
Describe it one more time.
Okay, the song is about doing meth, and then
song about doing meth,
and then falling asleep with your dick inside of somebody.
And falling asleep inside someone.
Oh, Drunken Melodies is Flogging.
Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind?
Yeah, that's what it is. Semi-Charmed
Life. There
you go. Yeah, that song is about doing meth and like getting blowjobs and like the lyrics are horrible, dude.
It's a great song though.
It is. It's a great song. So like I think that Jimmy Eat World is like closer to Third Eye Blind than
the fact that I can look up song about doing meth and falling asleep inside someone and the first thing is correct. It's pretty impressive. Good job, yeah. Google.
Well, I mean, that was the thing. It was on the radio. Because it's like, summertime kind of life, baby, I want something else. Yeah.
Get me through this
life. Yeah, it's like, it's a great pop song.
It is.
But it's really about doing meth and like fucking getting blowjobs and like, and I'm bumped again and then I bumped again and like it's just like blowing crystal meth, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, so Jimmy Eat World, they have one good song, and that song's like, "Are you listening? Whoa!" And then it's just like kind of does that a bunch of times. That's Jimmy Eat World's best song, in my opinion. All the rest of Jimmy Eat World kind of sucks.
This is like back when, if you only listen to the radio, which is like the only way to listen to music for free, you just didn't know the rest of the songs of an artist.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I mean, I always bought CDs. Like, always bought CDs. My
dad bought CDs.
Some of my first gifts were CDs. Like, I had this like punk rock version of Schoolhouse Rock. So it was like a bunch of like alternative 90s bands covering like all of the main Schoolhouse Rock songs. So that was really cool, and it taught me how to do my multiplications by 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Bada boom.
God damn.
I still know it. Yeah. That's because of the song, dude. It was like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Man and a woman had a little baby. There was 3 in the family. Like, dude, Schoolhouse Rocks really helped. I'm Just a Bill. I mean, that song literally teaches
dude,
you...
I'm just a bill.
Yeah, I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, now it's a long, long journey to the capital city.
I wonder if they still use those.
I don't know. I mean, probably not in school.
We don't... Well, that's what I meant, is if they still use it in school. We don't have the audience to find out. Unless we have an audience... Unless, like... some of our audience members have kids that are in school with it. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
I remember, I think it was like either for like one of my really late elementary school or like a middle school birthday. I want to say it was late elementary school. We gave away party favors at the end, and they were mix CDs
Oh.
of like my favorite songs at the time.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, like making mix CDs was fucking dope.
It was sick.
Like I've had a couple girlfriends that had really good music taste. Devin has good music taste, but our tastes don't always align. Like Devin's really into like this sad girl goth thing, you know? I think all Devin wishes is that she could be like a big titty goth girlfriend. She's almost there.
I was gonna say she has the style for it.
Yeah. But you know, so she, like, for instance, like we both love the Descendants, though I kind of helped like really get her into that. And like a lot of bands like that, you know, Dead Kennedys and stuff, but like we diverge where I like a lot of ska, she's really not into ska. Which, in her defense, I've made her listen to a lot of ska, and she just doesn't like it. like
you've tried.
Yeah, like she likes Less Than Jake, but Less Than Jake is closer to like NoFX and stuff, I think, you know. But Devin really likes Dance Gavin Dance, and I fucking hate Dance Gavin Dance. So like she can really deal with that. She can deal with like that, like like, you know, like fucking, I just can't do that.
Sounds like somebody just like finished the song and just started throwing up.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it, to me. That's what Dance Gavin Dance sounds like, and I just like, part of my reason I don't like Dance Gavin Dance because I think Johnny Craig is a fucking garbage person. You know, he's like a drug addict and like a fucking rapist and shit like that. Like, he's just done a lot of bad things. Not that I haven't listened to music that's been made by bad people. Like, I used to listen to well, first of all, fucking, oh my god, both of them are escaping me right now.
Nice.
What's the first band that ended up being god damn it, the crusty punk, fucking every crusty punk's favorite fucking band. I'll never forget them, or I'll never remember.
I was gonna say, you're literally forgetting them right now.
Yeah, and you aren't gonna help me.
Not even a little.
Only
Counting Crows.
No, this guy, he sings like this. Like, I can't fucking remember the name of the band off the top of my. They have two bands, Choking Victim and what's the other one? I can't remember.
I don't fucking know.
No. No. Do not listen to Slipknot. Okay, do not put that on me. Do not put that on me. Right?
9 Inch Nails. I'm just naming bands that I can remember.
No, Choking Victim and I can't remember the other one. And then I'm pretty sure every time the guy with the micro penis used to throw his shit at people on stage.
Hold on, let's see if Google can do this. Guy with micro penis who would throw shit on stage.
Choking Victim has another band made up of like the same members. Gigi Allen. Yeah, it's Gigi
wow,
Allen.
that actually worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gigi Allen was a terrible human being. Definitely the most punk rock person who has ever lived. But Gigi Allen is out of control. And he's from New Hampshire. And I know his brother, because his brother used to come into the quarters all the time when I worked there. And I'd be like, because I remember seeing him, right? And he always wore sunglasses, and he had like a really, really, really long Hitler mustache. And
like it was like the width of Hitler, but then longer.
Yeah. Like
over his lips.
Yeah.
Like he had like a mini like veil before his lips.
Yeah. He always wore black round like sunglasses that you couldn't see through, bowler hat, and had a long Hitler mustache. And I remember like one day I was like, I was talking to the owner, and I was like, "Who's that guy that always comes in?" He's like, "Yo, that's Gigi Allen's brother, dude." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? That's Gigi's brother? What the fuck?" So Gigi's dad. He died. But yeah, Gigi was he was a bad person. I mean, like he would just get naked on stage and like literally smear himself with his own shit, and then go and like wrestle people and like rub his little. He literally like go watch the Gigi Allen documentary, and just take it in. Just take it in, okay? It's crazy. Oh, Kit says she played a show with us, but I believe you, dude. Those guys were all over the place, like, especially if you were down living in Texas. I think they went down there quite a bit. Anyway, let's talk about the main point of the beginning of this show. Yeah, so I wanted to have a semi-serious discussion about burnout, right? So generally, if this is your first Bonsai podcast,
Sorry.
like generally we're kind of pell-mell about things. But I think, every once in a while it's good to have like a topic or like a theme, to talk about. And I think that burnout is something that it's a word that gets thrown around a lot, and
well, especially in our space.
Yeah, especially in the YouTube like sphere, and doesn't really get it's like everybody knows that burnout is bad, but I don't think people really understand how bad it can be until you see it, right? So I guess, I mean, where do we start? You know what I mean?
I feel like Mike and I have both experienced burnout to varying degrees. And I mean, to be fair, like all of us, I think, on YouTube who do it full time have.
Yeah, unless you have like an amazing audience where you can just release whenever you get 3 million fucking views, and then you're good for like 3 months. You know what I mean?
Right. Like yeah, there are people who are like, I think like H Bomber guy is a good example of somebody who like, he has a really strong Patreon, like insanely strong. He only has to releases like a couple times a year. So he puts a lot of work into those videos, but he takes his time with it. Same thing with like Philosophy Tube. They don't really feel like they're burning out, and their content really doesn't really shows it too. It's really top notch stuff because they can take the time, because they don't have to worry about making stuff for monetary gain. You know what I mean?
Same thing with Hardcore History, like Dan Carlin. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He releases like once a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, it's a 5-hour podcast, but like once a year, dude.
Yeah,
he's like living off that shit.
Yeah,
and for good
Internet
reason
Historian too is also like that. Like his main channel. I mean, he releases about once a month on his secondary channel, but they're mainly podcasts. I mean, they're heavily edited podcasts. We watched some when I was over there.
You're talking about Internet Historian, not Gaming Historian, but yeah, they're kind of in the same boat, honestly.
Yeah. So there is a way to do YouTube that doesn't really hit you with burnout. And it's really cool, but very few people have the audience to do that.
Yeah.
But however,
it's also...
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, go for it.
I was just going to say, however, the majority of the rest of us have felt burnout a lot. Mike and I certainly have. Grant from Tree School, probably more than either of us, even.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. It sucks, and it's hard, and oftentimes, even if you're feeling it, you don't think that you can stop.
Right. And it's not just something that like plagues the YouTube space either. No. It's just something that you hear a lot about because our job is to talk. So obviously when that kind of stuff happens, like you talk about it kind of. I mean, some people do, some people don't. And Luthi asks if YouTube algorithm is still demanding quantity over quality. Yeah. I mean, like if you want to kill it on YouTube,
better than it used to be.
Yeah,
but
if you want to kill it on YouTube, you got to release like every fucking day. You're still like, no matter how good your views are for your big releases, you're gonna make more views if you're releasing every day. That's just the way that goes.
100%. There are channels that release every day, get 10,000 views a video, but they make bank because it just adds up so fast.
Yeah, and like those videos, for the most part, Like I'm not gonna like call out anybody or anything like that, but those videos for the most part are trash content. Like that's the whole point of it. It's a TikTok type of thing where it's like you make a video every day with about 2 minutes of actual substance and the rest of it is fluff. Like you've seen them before. If people repeat themselves, they have like extended intros, extended outros. You know, like you have to search. It's usually something you'll run into if you're looking for like instructions on a video game or help with a tool, you know, or something like that. Like anything, like they are so full of fluff in order for these people to be able to get stuff out every day.
It's the equivalent to those fucking like cooking recipe websites where like I just want the fucking website and you have to read through like the fucking I just want the recipe and you have to read through the fucking author's like childhood
Life
trauma.
story.
Yeah, to get to like how do I make jalapeno poppers, you know, like.
Yep, and the recipe is always down at the bottom, so you have to scroll through the whole thing, so all the ads show up on the fucking thing. It's fucking stupid. It is stupid. Like, and it's just bad for the creator, right? Because it makes it not fun for the creator, because the creator has to follow all these stupid rules that honestly, like I'm gonna be real, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to make a 10-minute video because they can't make a 2-minute video.
Dude,
Nobody wants to do that.
Literally yesterday I had a 4-hour meeting with a new person that I'm doing YouTube consulting for. And at the end of it, he was like, there's so many fucking rules to do this right. Can I just like not do that? And I was like, that's what we do. You can just forget about it and work primarily off of your Patreon, but you have to get an audience to do that.
Mm. And even still, it's like we still follow.
We still have to follow a good majority of them.
I mean, yeah, I would say probably like more than less. Like
100%. We just don't do like, we're not like the Naruto channel, you know, or the like. We don't do the same thing every single fucking video, right? To gain that audience.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, but I'm even talking about little things like making sure that tags are in every single video. Like when was like I think I've clicked on a tag like once. You know, like you have to make sure that your ads are spaced out in the exact right way so that they play. You know, you have to like do a ton of stupid shit like our outros. You know, I would love to sit and talk to people for 5 minutes in our outros, but people don't watch it. The majority of people won't watch that, so we have to cut them. You know, that's why our outros are like, that's why our outros are like, lucky Patreon, blah, 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 yada, yada. See you next time. Boom. Yep. You know, if I could just be like, thanks, bye. You know, that would be it, you know? But anyway, it's just like, there's millions and millions of stupid little rules. Like the idea that you have to fill up your tag section more or less, or like, you know, you want to fill up your tag section. So like come up with
you want to fill up your tag section, but you can't fill it up too much. It has to be the right amount of tags.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would like to do longer outros with real talk. But yeah, burnout is I think that it's something that primarily is a phenomenon that exists in capitalist societies. And I think that it is
wait, sorry, do you hear that?
No.
It's the sound of an angry... Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, burnout is fueled by greed. That's the way that it goes, right? So, like, for instance, back in England, way long time ago, there was a plague. Everybody knows it. The Black Death, right? And when that swept through, it took out an entire generation of workers, right? I mean, like the Black Plague is like the closest thing that you can think of to atomic annihilation, right? Like it was bad. And this was still when England was an aristocracy, right? So there's a king and a queen and like they actually mattered and like all this shit, right? So the peasants were workers, right? And when this Black Plague came through, all the workers died. So they had to get kids and young people into these jobs. I mean, like these were businesses and even you know, like social leaders that were now like 20 and down to like 9. you know, like that had to work and work and work and stuff like that. And then because there was so limited amount, that was when workers started being able to bargain, because it was, you know, that was when the ruling class realized, oh, like we need these fucking people or else everything is going to fall apart, you know? Um, and in the Industrial Revolution, it was kind of the same thing, you know, like in America too. There was a lot of issues with children working. Um, Lots of like people who were too old to work were working. Uh, and you know, people were getting paid with. You had an option. You could either get a keg or you could get a paycheck, and a lot of people took the keg because they worked all the fucking time, and the only way to fucking deal with it was to just be drunk. And like back in the day, they were drunk. Like people working heavy machinery in buildings without fire escapes were just fucking drunk all the time. And there were kids in there, you know, people were losing hands and like all this shit. And that was, you know, it was just that was the way it was. You just worked and worked and worked and worked. And it really was like the Industrial Revolution that kind of like set this standard, right? Because anything's better than that.
Well, literally,
you know
our
what I mean?
school system is based off of the Industrial Revolution too.
See,
Like,
I don't know about that, so enlighten me.
there's a really good video about it. I can't remember exactly who did it. It's like a TED Talk. But like the idea that like a bell controls your life, and there's like a ring for lunch and a ring for after, and you separate people, you know, by age and stuff like that. All that came from the Industrial Revolution, and we basically packaged it up and said, well, this is how we'll do schooling now too. Which is ridiculous because education so does not work that way. Yeah. A lot of people think I had a really good teacher who did another TED Talk about how a lot of people see education like a ladder, where it's like for math, for example, it's like you learn, you know, arithmetic, and then you learn geometry, and then you learn calculus, etc. And it's like you're climbing up this ladder of knowledge, and it's much more like a leaf's veins. Where it's like, yeah, they're all related, but they're all very different. Like, I was pretty good at science in school. Like, I was really good at chemistry. I was great at biology. I cannot do physics to save my fucking life.
Yeah, because it's math.
Yeah. Well, because it's math,
science.
but it's math in a way that does not make fucking sense to me. I cannot give you the fucking, like, tension of a spring for my life, and I tried.
Yeah. Or like the trajectory of like a object that weighs this much, with a gravitational force of this much, thrown with an acceleration of this much, you know, and then a deaccelerate. Like, what's the deacceleration of it? You know, where will it hit? Yeah, like that shit is really.
And other people are like, "How do you not get this? You know the formulas." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't understand the basic, like the fundamental concept. Still hurts my brain to this day. It doesn't fucking work."
Yeah. So. Basically, like after the Industrial Revolution, again, the idea kind of comes down to like anything is better than that. Anything is better than no laws or restrictions, right? So, you know, eventually we get whittled down to the 40-hour work week, right? Which was originally meant for the man in the family to work 40 hours a week, and that was enough to pay for their family, right? Which, you know, could have been anywhere from a wife and a kid to a wife and 7 kids. My grandfather was a chemistry professor, and he fed 6 fucking kids and his wife all by himself, and had a house and a car and all sorts of stuff, you know?
Like thinking about that now, it sounds insane, you know? Like, people are like, was he also Batman? Like,
no, I mean,
know?
he had a PhD, so you know he was definitely, you know, up there. But he worked at a state school. He worked at UMass, and they are retired now off of his work, and they live half of the year in a really nice place in Arizona and half of the year in a gorgeous place in New Hampshire. That's the way that things were built to be. And then we had women's suffrage, which is something that absolutely should have happened. But the government, instead of it being okay, they punished everybody for it, right? And a lot of these stupid misogynist pricks will go around and be like, "Oh, it's the women's fault for wanting to work and not be in the kitchen with the babies." And it's like, no, it's not. It's not. It's a human right to be able to work and make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
The government fucking allowed corporations to cut people's wages to the point where now it's expected that a woman and a man will both work, right? And that nobody will take care of their fucking kids. Do you know how much it would cost me for daycare? Like me, me and Devin have gone off and on about having a kid.
I
But,
know
like,
almost exactly how much it would cost. Like I have a friend who lives in the Bay Area. I think she's in Oakland now. She had her first kid. I think her kid's like a year and a half old. She had her
rough
kid.
neighborhood.
She had her kid during COVID. And
Yeah.
and this is not like they make like she works at LinkedIn. She makes money. You know what I mean? Like she's making 6 figures plus, and her husband.
She do it in Oakland. She should go somewhere better.
Because she's in the Bay Area, she gets paid more than if she worked anywhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
She gets paid, like, they actually will lower your... If she moved to, let's say, Seattle, she'll get 90% of what she gets paid right now.
Jesus. Yeah, the Bay Area is the most expensive place in the country, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But her husband works for the rental company where they live, so they get 40% off their rent. Which is huge. You know, he doesn't get paid very much, but it takes care of it because the rent would be like $2,000 more. You
Oakland? Know? Jesus Christ.
It's ridiculous. I don't remember exactly where she lives. The point is, it's fucking expensive still.
Oakland's rough, dude. Oakland is like a rough neighborhood.
And when I saw her recently for a bachelorette party, she was telling me that, like, they still barely have the money for everything they need. Yep. And they're making over 6 figures because daycare itself is costing thousands of dollars a month.
Yeah, for me, my rent is $850. Right?
Yeah,
I live in the
$960.
Yeah. Like, I live in the sticks. So, like, $850 is... It's what it should be. You know what I mean? I think when I look at my apartment, I'm like, yeah, this, $850 seems like a pretty fair deal. It's something that you can pay. Big. Yeah, it's pretty damn big, especially if you took most of our shit out of it. Our house is really fucking cluttered.
Your house is pretty fucking big. You have an upstairs.
Yeah.
Like 2 bedrooms. Pretty nice place.
Yeah, and I believe that it should cost about $850 in today's economy. That leaves us a little bit of room to save, et cetera, et cetera. You should have room to save. And like, daycare for me, for one kid, would be $1,750 a month. It's like fucking over twice my rent just for daycare. I mean, which granted, like, we wouldn't need because, Devin isn't working right now. She wants to work. She's working on getting work. But she has, like, disabilities and stuff, so it's difficult. Like, it's not like she can't just go work at Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
Which is now paying $15 an hour. Sounds awesome.
Good job, Dunkin'.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things around here are paying $15, which is neat. And you get, like, all these sign-on bonuses because they're so desperate to get people to work. Regardless, So when women entered the workforce, like, women were punished for it. They still don't get paid as much as men do for doing the same job. And families got punished for it because now it's expected that 2 people work and the kids basically, like, get fucked. I mean, it brought up a whole generation of latchkey kids that brought up a whole generation of latchkey kids. I mean, the idea of a family bond is basically not there for the majority of people, especially the lower to lower middle class of people. I was a latchkey kid. My mom and dad didn't get home till 7 p.m. So after school, I went home, unlocked my door, grabbed my skateboard and rode my bike to the skate park, and that's where I hung out. Kid says she was a latchkey kid. I'm sure a lot of people in here were,
Yeah.
Partway the through... American.
I was just going to say, partway through my childhood, my dad moved his office to work at home.
Yeah.
which was great when I was younger. Then it sucked when I was older.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was like I don't get me wrong, like I didn't get along with my parents very well anyway, so being a latchkey kid was great. Um and like, you know, despite my many stars, I really wasn't like a big troublemaker, you know? I was a mischief maker, but I wasn't like any of the like the psychopath kids, you know, that like you hear about and stuff like that. But in America, like it wasn't until the 90s that we got an act that like really allowed people to spend any time with their kids legally after giving birth. And even still, it's unpaid.
and
And
it's
it's only
stupid small compared to other countries.
yeah, it's something like 4 weeks to
Mhm.
4 months, something like that. Like it's really really small, and it's basically only for women.
Yep.
Which great. So, you know, and that leads into other things like, oh, like we don't want to, you know, we don't want to hire women of birthing age because they're, you know, they think of women as like part-time employees because women can get pregnant, which is like they're fucking right. And they should be allowed to get fucking pregnant, you know, and then they should be allowed to have kids, you
Mhm.
know? Like, I mean, sure, some people shouldn't be allowed to have kids, but this is America. You're free. You can do whatever you want, you know? Like, have a fucking kid or 8. Please don't have 8 kids.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe
Nobody
not
needs
8.
8 kids. Nobody needs 8 kids. But anyway, yeah, like, you know, unless you have the biggest farm, you know, in the world, sure, have 8 kids. They're going to work on your farm, you know? They're probably going to have a decent life.
But almost everywhere else, it is like way more. Afghanistan has a 90-day maternity leave.
Is it paid?
Good question. Does it say?
Because places like
Percentage of
France,
wages. It does say. Hold on. Where was that? I want to say it was 100%, but
wow. Because places like France, they have like 6 months, 8 months for
Mhm.
men and women paid.
yes,
You know?
100% wages.
For how long?
90 days.
90 days. That's 3 months.
3 months.
They're still better than us.
Yeah. Australia
them-
gives you a year, but you don't get paid at all.
Okay. That's still job protection, though. You know what I mean?
Fiji has 84 days, which seems strange, and they give you, I guess, a flat rate.
Okay.
So it's not
So,
your
like, disability.
kinda. I don't know how much
Yeah.
it is, but yeah, this is actually pretty interesting.
Kara says he knows a family with 11 kids. My grandmother grew up next to a lady who had 20 kids. Catholics. that's why. That's why. Catholics.
fucking Denmark, man. 18 weeks, you get 100% of your wage times 10 more weeks may be taken by either parent. God damn.
Yeah. It's
So
Kara says
you
this
get
family's
100% for 18 weeks, and then you can still take another 10 weeks off, and either parent can do it.
Yep. So yeah, so basically the idea is that like we are way fucking behind on this stuff in America.
Yeah.
And what it shows when you dig down into all of it, what it shows is the intrinsic greed of a capitalist society. Unchecked. Because when you get pregnant, and when I say you, obviously, you know, literally I mean women, but obviously families. When families
Right.
get pregnant, the women specifically are no longer considered workers. They're considered, you know, their time on the force is ticking, basically. And once they get to the point where they can't work anymore, and then they have to go into labor and have the kid afterwards, it's like, yo, if you don't get back here, you're fucking gone. Sorry, we'll fill your space with somebody else who wants to work. You know, because I mean that's really the attitude, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, you don't want to work? You want to fucking have a bond with your child? Fine, you're fired. Enjoy not making any money. You know, it's like it's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. There's absolutely no excuse. And we were supposed to get that fixed. Thanks to Joe Manchin and Christian Cinema. It's not happening. Neither is free community college. Which pisses me off because I have a fucking loan that I have to pay now. So
Anyway,
yeah. So
remember when we were talking about burnout? It's all connected.
we are. We're still. Yeah, it's all connected. It's all connected. So what happens? Well, let me not get ahead of myself. So now we're in a space where inflation has gotten so bad that even if you're working with 2 full-time jobs in a family, you almost can't even afford to have a kid.
Yeah.
One kid.
Like, you basically now, if you keep money in the bank, you are losing money. Because
What do you
inflation, because your yearly inflation is so high, if you just let your money sit there, you are not gaining enough interest to combat inflation.
Oh, like in a savings account. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the only reason I am making money on my savings is because I have it invested.
Right. Which is a gamble.
Which is a huge, and I'm not investing in stocks. I have crypto investments, which have paid off really well, and I'm really happy about it. But yeah, I put in money and I hold on to money in my savings account with a fucking death grip on it in case I lose everything else.
Yeah. So we're now in a time where inflation has gotten so bad that, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like in the middle of the country and in the South, cost of living is a lot lower than it is where I live and where Tyler lives. But even still, they aren't even close to up to date. You know? I mean, we had this whole podcast where we were freaking out about prices over houses and lands and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like and how cheap it was and shit like that in Wyoming and stuff. That's why millennials are going to buy Wyoming. We're doing it. We're going to build the asshole cannon. Everything's going to be great. But again, it's like, you know, you can't just move to those areas in Wyoming. There's nothing around there. There's no, you know, like, there's no internet. There's no fucking roads. like, yeah, you can buy a fuck ton of land, but then you're going to have to put all the money into, like, there's no infrastructure. Exactly, Kit. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, it's we are behind,
super behind,
and what it's causing is more people having to work more for less. And I think what we're seeing right now, especially after I mean, after the original pandemic nightmare, right? Like, we're still in the middle of it. It has not gone away. There is still a bunch of assholes that are out there not getting fucking vaccinated and are dying and spreading it to other people and killing other people's kids. Like, let's not fucking sugarcoat this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you are not getting vaccinated by choice for fun, you could be a fucking child murderer, and you should go to fucking jail for being a child murderer, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? You get COVID and you give it to a fucking kid, fuck.
The only reason not to get a vaccine now is if you literally can't.
And there are people that can't, and that's totally fair. But those people are depending on the people who can to get it, so they can go and live their lives. But they can't because of all these fucking people that are like, scared of losing their freedom, man. And like, this isn't just a Southern thing, though it is really prevalent in the South. But right now, New York City, right? New York City, the emerald gem of the East Coast, is fucked on their emergency services because so many of these dicks refuse to get their fucking COVID vaccine. Excuse me? What? Your emergency services, motherfuckers. Like, you're fine running into a burning building that's collapsing. You know, you'll be heroes on 9/11. But you won't get a COVID shot? For reference, this week I got a flu shot. And then once that was over, I got my COVID booster. Right? So, I'll tell you what, flu shot is a lot worse than a COVID booster. Or a COVID shot, period. I've had now 3 shots. And I can tell you, the flu shot fucking sucks.
Well, 3 COVID shots.
Yeah, 3 COVID shots.
3 COVID shots, 1 flu shot. Yeah.
Yeah, and the flu shot was worse than all 3 COVID shots put together. You know, like it's fucking ridiculous. And I guarantee you that most of these people have had the flu shot. Most of them have probably had the polio shot. You know, smallpox, tetanus, all sorts of stuff. Like I guarantee you can't go to fucking college without getting a tetanus shot.
Mm-hmm.
What
I mean, you
is
can't
different?
go to public school without getting shots.
Yeah. Like what I mean, what is different about the COVID boost or the COVID shot and the fucking tetanus shot? I don't know.
It's It's politicized. That's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. It's politicized. So, but besides that was sorry about my tangent.
That was a tangent, yeah. But you seem to really be going for it, so
yeah, it pisses me off, dude.
Yeah,
pisses
me
off.
off too. I'm happy. Oregon has over an 80% vaccination rate.
Yeah, it's because 80% of its fucking population lives in 2 cities. Whoa, and everybody who isn't vaccinated lives outside of it.
3 cities.
Okay, there you go.
All right. We got Portland, Eugene, and Bend.
I forgot about Eugene. What about Salem?
It's not that big.
Oh, it's a capital.
That doesn't mean it's big. Albany's the capital of New York.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Boston isn't even big. But yeah, so what the first COVID panic showed the world was what it's like not to have to fucking work all the time. Or not to have to travel a ridiculous fucking distance to your job because you can't afford to live near your job. And people liked it. Not everybody liked it, right? And that's fair. That's
my
totally
commute
fair.
Really changed.
Well, I mean, sure, but like, you know, and I'm not coming from like you have to please remember that like I am not like a fucking out of high school YouTuber, right? I spent the vast majority of my life working real jobs, shit jobs.
Yeah, I mean, we both did. Like, I was still working as a bartender up until, 2 years ago? I think? Something like that.
I have been a line cook. I have been a prep cook. I have been a clerk. I have been a fast food worker. I have been a waiter. I have been a warehouse worker. I've done fucking landscaping, yard work, every kind of manual labor that you could probably, roofing, all kinds of shit like that.
We've both done fucking call center shit, which is soul-sucking as hell. I've also done door-to-door shit, which is soul-sucking as hell.
Yeah. Charles says he's not going to be able to hear the rest of it because he has to go to work. You know what I mean? Yeah, work is fucking, you know, it's like also, you know, it just people for the record, like people just they got a taste. They got a taste of what it's like to not have to fucking kill yourself to, you know, be able to be with your family. And I'm sure that there was issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely issues, but at the same time, it's still better than fucking killing yourself. You know?
Yeah.
Sure, everybody wants a break from their kids, but I would rather be annoyed with my kids than killing myself to go to work for no gain. That's the other thing. Like I've worked paycheck to paycheck. My whole fucking life was paycheck to paycheck until like this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck. And even on YouTube, like it takes a long time. It took me 5 years of working my fucking dick off to get to this point where I'm okay. You know,
Yeah,
like what I mean? It's not an emergency. Like, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
it's so fucking true.
yeah. And so the reason that I bring this up is because burnout is real. And while it isn't a medical condition, it causes medical conditions. And America has a cultural zeitgeist about working. America has always had an image to uphold to the rest of the world that we are strong and we are proud and we are tough.
We're American. We're the strong, hardy freedom fighters of the world that, we bring others up out of the darkness.
Yeah.
And make the world a better place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't always like that. That's like post World War II. But yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Last 100 years, though, like.
Yeah. And that's a great sales pitch. I got another one for you. We are the descendants of the craziest motherfuckers that ever lived on this planet, who were ballsy enough and religiously fucking zealous enough to take a journey across the ocean on a wooden boat that they didn't even know if they were going to make it into a land filled with people who they didn't fucking share a language with or any cultural identity with, to fucking possibly die, and then proceeded to commit genocide and take all the land.
I just want to be clear.
That's who we are.
Your ancestors did that. Mine were in Russia doing other things.
Yours were in Russia too. Who fucking knows? Russian history
mine were in,
is not.
Mine were in Russia and Israel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fucking Israel didn't even exist until after World War II.
Yeah, that's true.
Love to see Hitler's reaction to that. Well, part of Hitler's whole problem was that with Jews, was that Jews weren't able to have their own country. So they used everybody else's country. They weren't built to have their own country. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so
done a pretty good job at maintaining one since then. The people in charge of it haven't exactly done great things to do that, but it's still there.
Yeah. But yeah, so it is part of the zeitgeist to work and work and work and just shut the fuck up, because that's how it is, right? At least it's not as bad as it used to be.
I cannot tell you how many times in my 20s I would tell, even like my parents, but basically anyone, I was like, yeah, I'm sometimes working 70, 80-hour weeks, between my job and YouTube channel and all that stuff. And they're like, well, yeah, you're in your 20s. You're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're fucking not.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, you want to know
I
why?
have 100% lost years on my life building up a YouTube channel. 100%.
Totally.
The starts of Treesicle, I guarantee I've lost at least 5 years on my life from the stress.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you want to know why you're not Madonna or Britney Spears or fucking, Markiplier or whatever? It's because you're not putting in 90 hours a week to fucking, make your Madonna dreams come true. You know what like Britney
because it's
Spears,
not fucking worth it, dude.
No, it's not. It's not. Britney Spears worked night and day and still fucking does. Like people who live that life, that's why they go crazy. That's why they end up fucking, like in the tabloids with their fucking cooter hanging out, like drunk as fuck, fighting with the police, is because they've worked 90 hours a week for 3 fucking years. And they're not even most of them aren't even in control of themselves. They got multiple contracts to uphold, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right?
Right.
And don't get me wrong, some of them are fucking assholes. But then on top of it,
they're assholes at every aspect of life. You can find lazy assholes, you can find assholes that work themselves to death. Assholes are a constant.
Yeah. Exactly. And if you give assholes an inflated head and a shit ton of money, like, they're going to be bigger assholes. That's just the way it is. That's how you. Anyway. So the reason that I bring all of this up is because, we work in a space that is highly glorifying of Japan, and Japan has a very similar national zeitgeist that we do, with a few tweaks, right? Mm-hmm. So in America, it's all about getting what you want, right? It's all about take what you can, and
hold
on
yourself
to
up
it
by your bootstraps that nobody has anymore.
Exactly. And anybody can make it from the ground up, blah, blah, blah. Japan is more like support the country, support the business.
If you aren't working, you aren't being a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Functional member of society.
Something like that.
You are not adding
a contributing member of society. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, and it's not even if you're not working. It's if you are not in the workforce.
Right.
If you are not in the the corporate cubicle job, you are not a contributing member of society.
Well, it's like how many fucking anime have we watched that like the main character starts out as like what is it, hikikomori? Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And they're like ashamed because they're not working, you know?
Yeah. Or somebody who works so much they die.
Or the opposite. Yes.
Yeah.
Or the opposite, like in Bookworm, or what's that other one that just
Death March to a Rhapsody or something like that. There's a bunch of them, dude. There's a ton of them because working yourself to death is an actual problem in Japan. But it's also a problem in the United States. And that's something that doesn't get talked about. And everybody always covers it up with, well, it's not as bad as it used to be. Right? I mean, how many times have you fucking heard that line?
If people are still dying, then it's just as bad as it used to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but think about how many times somebody has applied that line to anything that you have a complaint about. Racism. Well, it's not as bad as it used to be. You know, like all this fucking shit. Like it's not as bad as it used to be. Okay, well, what's your gauge on that? Like what like how do you know it's not as bad as it used to be? Like, sure, yeah. The work environment now is not as bad as it used to be. In some ways.
Yeah,
we got fire escapes.
That doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, like we have some protections. We have legal limits.
We have unions sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, but also not because, like, I've worked at a place where if you said the word union and anybody that's in a position higher than you hears you, you're fired. And like, this is a place.
What if you spell it
literally?
Like a
seriously,
dog.
like no, it was like fucking the 1950s like Red Scare, dude. Like and other people would report you too, because if anybody connected to you had that conversation with you, they would also get fired. This is a business that fired entire warehouses full of people. 500, 800 workers for trying to unionize. Got rid of all of them, cleaned house. Crazy, right? But anyway, the reason that I bring this up is because imagine all of these issues, and then on top of it, being a single mom. You're already fucked, right? You got a kid, 2 kids. You have one income. That income is already lower than it should be because you're a woman. And you got kids that you got to take care of. Imagine being a single fucking mom, right? That sucks. Now, imagine being a single mom who really, really, really loves their fucking kids. I mean, almost to a fanaticism point, right? Wants to give these kids the best life that they can for, whatever reason. We'll stick with love, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think most moms want to give their kids a good life, but yeah.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a good life and the best possible life that they can have. You know what I mean? And look at all of the barriers that are in your fucking way. And the reason I bring this up is because I know somebody like that. And this person right now is in the hospital fighting for her life because of burnout. My Aunt Shannon got married and had kids when she was 20. My cousin Maya was first. She's 24 now, so she's about 6 years younger than me. And then my cousin Marissa. Shannon was 16 when I was born, so she's only 46. And she had a heart attack last week. And the blood clot that caused the heart attack went through her heart. Not like a bullet, but like, passed through. And got lodged in her lower leg. And cut off circulation to her leg. So it didn't get lodged in the lower leg, it got lodged in the upper leg in the aortic artery. Which is that artery
to get lodged.
Yeah. That's the artery that everybody's like, well, that's why we don't shoot people in the leg. They'll bleed out. That's why we shoot people in the heart. Or the spine.
That's why we gotta shoot them other places.
Yeah. So it's a big artery, it's an important artery. So she had the heart attack and didn't even know. She thought she had heartburn. I mean, that's my aunt. Our whole family has heartburn, acid reflux, stuff like that. So she thought she had heartburn, right? Yep. Then her foot turned purple.
That's bad.
So she went to the doctor, right? We have a hospital near us. Place fucking sucks. And when she went to the hospital, they took her in right away. Hospitals are fucked up the ass right now. Absolutely. Because of all the fucking COVID patients.
Yep, still.
And because of COVID in general.
It went down for like a smidge, and now it's back up.
Yeah. So she's in the waiting room with a fuck ton of people with COVID, with a blood clot in her leg, and no pulse in her foot. And her foot is dying, right? Well, there's no fucking vascular specialist at this hospital.
Seems like something that you would need at a hospital.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, well, we'll have to transfer you to Bay State in Springfield. Bay State's full. So they had to send her to Connecticut. Because it's closer than Boston, right? I wish so badly that she could have gone to Boston. Boston is the best hospitals in the world. Period. It is one of the best and brightest medical areas in the entire world. The best doctors go to school in Boston. But she ended up having to go to Connecticut. She gets to Connecticut and they put her on blood thinners, right? Because that's what you do to break up a clot, right? Mm-hmm. A clot, like, for those who just don't know or never watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy in their life or something like that, blood clots are tricky because
I gotta go to the bathroom real quick, but you keep talking.
Okay. Yeah. Blood clots are tricky because if they break, you just get another heart attack. It'll get stuck in your heart. What if it goes to your brain? Cuts off circulation to your brain, you have a stroke. There's a lot of things that make blood clots very dangerous. And the other thing about having a blood clot is that it's likely that you have more, and they're very hard to find. Most of the time, what you do is you get a CAT scan. And what the CAT scan does is they put a bunch of liquid inside of you that makes you feel like you're going to piss yourself, and then it basically it makes things glow when they look at you through this x-ray. And the reason that I know that is because my fiance, they thought she might have a blood clot or a tumor at one point. Turns out she had degenerative kidney disease. Not great. It's not a blood clot, so that's nice. So Shannon goes on these blood thinners, and there's a risk with these blood thinners, right? Because they're intense. She gets this catheter put in, right? Not a piss catheter. She does have a piss catheter, but also a catheter for the clot. The idea is to, pass the clot through this, break it up, pass it out. It goes on these blood thinners, but the risk is that these blood thinners can cause you to bleed in other places. So, for instance, if you bump your elbow while you're on these blood thinners, you could get a serious bleed in your elbow. Well, the same works for your head. And sometimes you don't even need to bump it. And when they were going to take the catheter out to check on the clot, Shannon had a stroke. Because she had a bleed in her brain, in the right side of her brain. And it cut off oxygen to the brain. So bleeds in the brain are really bad. They're really bad. Any bleeding in the brain causes swelling. And when your brain swells, it pushes up against the walls of your skull and causes pretty significant brain damage. And also more things like strokes. Thanks for hanging out, Alpha. I appreciate you, man. And there's only one way to fix it. Gotta cut a hole in the person's fucking skull. Right? So sometimes they need to take a whole plate off, right? Like a big chunk of your skull. For Shan, all they needed to do was basically drill a little hole in it, which is nice.
Essentially
right?
like a drain, right?
Yeah. So, you know, she didn't have to get her head shaved and like this big fucking gnarly scar. But then she had another stroke. And this one was in... So the first one was on the right side of her brain. Paralyzed the left side of her body. That's how it works. Opposites.
Yep.
And the second stroke was in her... Well, actually, I don't know. There's a lot of parts of your brain that control cognitive functions, like basal ganglia, prefrontal cortex, just a bunch of other ones. And she had one that hit her somewhere in the cognitive area, and then she had another one. It began to seize up. She was put on a ventilator, and our family doesn't do ventilators, right? We're very DNR heavy. We don't like the idea of becoming vegetables. You know, we don't like the idea of not being who we used to be. We'd rather die. And that's just something that's always been part of the family. I was raised like that. That's just the way it is. It's a very small family. We're very, very close, super tight-knit. My great-grandmother was that way. When she was dying, my grandmother was supposed to be in charge of it, but her brothers and sisters basically usurped it and kept my great-grandmother alive. And my grandmother threw a fit. And it was very traumatizing for her because she knew what her mother wanted. And my grandmother wants the same thing. And Shannon would want the same thing too. She said it, right? So we got to the point where we had to, we kind of had to figure out what to do, and the doctor said, give us 2 days. I really like Shannon, is what he said. He's like, I feel like she's my friend. I got to know her really well because that's just who Shannon is. She's extremely outgoing, super funny. She's super fucking funny. Just like out of control, just a wild lady. All the ladies in my family are wild. And he said, give me 2 days. I'm going to try and pull her out of this. If she's worse in 2 days, have your discussion. So right now, Shannon is not awake, but she is off the ventilator. She's heavily medicated. The clot obviously had to go on the back burner, while all this brain stuff was happening. And so they're kind of working on that now. They want her to heal. She is off the ventilator, right? And people are going down and visiting her every day, because that's what Shannon would want. She likes socializing. That's like her favorite thing. And she's now responding to people, which is great. It's better than we could have ever hoped for. Yesterday, my grandmother was in the ICU. She's in the neurological ICU yet. They haven't even transferred her back into cardiovascular. But my grandmother was in there, and the nurse was talking to her, and she asked my grandmother what my cousins were doing my cousin was doing for college. My grandmother couldn't figure it out. And then out of the corner of the room, you hear forensics. So she's got 3-syllable words. You know what I mean? Like she's out of it. She's fucked up on drugs. Yeah, exactly. You know, like, I had a conversation with her, and you have to realize that it's not Shan yet, right? You know, she's fucking out of it. Her eyes are all rolling around and stuff. You know, like it's uncomfortable to see, but you know, it's better than dead. And I guess she had asked for me while her daughter was there, and you know, her daughter Marissa gave me a call, and we had a little FaceTime with Shannon. She focused on me one time. She told me she loved me. She's like, "I love you so much." Like, I love you too, you know. But she is in this situation because she worked herself to death. And it's a reality. It's a harsh reality. She wanted to be the best mom that she possibly could in a world that didn't want to allow her to be the best mom that she could be. She was a coach for cheerleading and dance and all this. Like, I mean, these girls did activities. Like, it was, you know, drama, fucking, like, all sorts of shit. She ran a scrapbook club. She would do, like, fucking sex toy parties. You know, she, like, worked with my Grammy selling candles. Like, she was, from the second she got up until 10 o'clock at night, every single night for the past 20 years. And I'm not even exaggerating. It might be longer than that. We're talking like 23, 24 years. I mean, pretty much since Maya was born, she has been up and out every single day, all fucking day, making it work. Like this is like super mom, but on top of that, like not being a crazy mom. She was a fun mom. She's the girl's best friend in the entire world. You know, she makes fucking sex jokes. She talks about her boyfriend's big black cock. You know, she like fucking like all sorts of like she just goes ham. And at first we were like, Shan, you gotta fucking chill out. Like you would see her calendar, and every single day on every single month it would be full. 5 to 6 to 7 things on her calendar, from, you know, doctor's appointments, visits with the school, you know, yada yada. She eventually got into politics. She, like, you know, her kids are half black, and during the Trump administration, there was a lot of like really scary neo-Nazi racist stuff going on in their town, and she stepped in politically within the school system and within the town and helped clear it up. And let me, like, she is a 5 foot tall, kinky curly haired, like freckles all over her body, you know, little white lady. I mean, you know, she could probably stand to lose a little bit of weight, but she knows that.
Well, me too.
And she probably will from this whole thing. But when you're living like that, when you're working like that, you're gonna something has to give. You know what I mean? And when it came to what had to give in order to continue this lifestyle, it was her health. And she ate fast food all the time. Because what are you going to do? Cook? You got 15 fucking appointments today. Can't cook. Right. You know? She lived off of coffee 24/7. And to deal with the anxiety probably that the coffee gave her, she smoked like a chimney. So she had high cholesterol. And it gave her a heart attack. And then, because she had a heart attack, she had 3 strokes. And now at 46, her daughters are worried about her dying. We're all worried about her dying. Because the thing is strokes are kind of like not good. You know, it's one of those things that can it's a forever problem now. Because once you have a stroke, it opens you up for more strokes.
Yeah, you're that much more likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like if you have cancer, you're more likely to get cancer.
Yeah, it's like brain herpes. You know what I mean? You just hope you don't have another outbreak.
That is
It's
the
not
best
good.
description for a stroke I have ever heard.
Yeah. But yeah, so my Shannon has always been really, really good to me. She's always been kind of like a mom and a sister. And I think that's kind of how her girls felt about it too. And her girls are great kids. They've literally never done anything bad in their entire life, which is really saying something. Obviously, Shannon and her husband divorced. She never remarried. And that happened when the kids were pretty young, and it was devastating to them. Really devastating, because they're like, I thought Shannon had a perfect relationship. It was devastating to me. I loved my uncle and my aunt. It was very difficult, for me. For her kids, it was a lot worse, and I think she really tried to make up for that. But again, like, in this fucking country, and with the way that the world works, she had something had to go. Something had to give. And that fucking sucks. That's fucked up. And she is not alone. This happens to a lot of people. She was working 2-3 jobs to put her kids into college because she was just making too much money for them to get financial aid. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You get punished for trying too hard.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, I guess you're over the whatever the fucking amount is for financial aid, so you don't need it, despite all the other reasons that you could need it.
Yeah. Now, where's the person whispering in my ear, it's not as bad as it used to be? Where's that person? How is it not as bad as it used to be? It sounds kind of worse, right? You work 3 jobs. You got to die of a heart attack and strokes when you're 46. It's not as bad as it used to be. Like, yeah, exactly. Cock Warlock says it's not as bad as it used to be. Neither means good nor acceptable. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
in fact, it
exactly.
often means it's still shitty. It's just not super, super shitty.
Yeah. What I think it is that there is a level. Like, I don't think shitty is a scale. I think it is a line. Right?
No, I hear exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Once you hit shitty, it's all shit.
It's all shit until you get past the line of shit. And then you're no longer in shit.
Once you get some shit on your face, I don't think it matters if you get a lot of shit on your face. You already have shit on your face. Your day's ruined. Right? Like, it's just so fucking stupid. And it's not as bad as it used to be. Doesn't fucking mean anything. People need to stop saying that shit. So on social media and on our YouTube community page, I've posted in GoFundMe for my aunt. That is being run by somebody that I call my auntie Jenny, my auntie Missy, but they're not aunts. They're Shannon's friends who have been friends with her since the day they were born. Because back in the day, we had neighborhoods. and people would have birth at the same time or give birth at the same time. And, it was this American utopia. It's not as bad as it used to be, though. Right. So, and the reason that we're doing that is because you don't think about the financial issues that come with something like this. Right. But again, this is America. This is America, everybody. Dying ain't free.
Oh, no.
Living,
hell no,
surviving, dude. Not free. That one ambulance ride from Massachusetts to Connecticut probably cost more than your year's worth of rent.
Probably.
I took an ambulance ride 1 mile one time. It cost me $8,000. Did I pay it? No. Will I pay it? No.
Yeah,
but still got the bill.
Luthi says U.S. medical bills are fucking stupid. They are fucking stupid. And we are in an age now where our fucking health insurance is GoFundMe because it's the only way people can do it.
Yeah.
We are literally, because the government won't make universal healthcare where we all pay into it, we have to do it ourselves.
Yeah. I have to ask my audience to help my auntie. And I already ask my audience too fucking much.
Yeah, we already asked for a lot. We've asked for things before, like we asked for help with my ex's eyes too. You know?
Yeah. But anyway, you know, it's like, yeah, and the thing, like, I didn't post it in the Patreon because our patrons do enough.
Yeah.
You know, and I hope I never have to ask again. I don't like having to do that. You know what I mean? It's. I'm here to entertain you guys, not bum you out.
Yeah.
But also, I think that everybody needs to feel a little bit justified. You know, you probably don't like your job. If you do, that's awesome. You're probably not getting paid enough. Period. I'm not even gonna tell you that you're getting paid enough. You're probably not getting paid enough. You know?
Yeah.
The world is shit and it's fucking you. And we should not be satisfied until things change. Until people don't have to go through what Shannon's going through. And her girls. And the fact that we have to set up a GoFundMe for this when she has insurance is ridiculous. And you know what? We don't even know how long she's going to have insurance. If her insurance goes through her job and she can't work her job anymore, she's going to get fired. And then her insurance goes away. Then what? Then what about all the medications and the brain surgery and the fucking leg surgery, everything? Just the bed at the hospital. Never, like, just getting through the first stages. Not even physical therapy. She has to get her left side back. Her whole left side. We don't even know about speech therapy yet or anything like that. This is going to be months of recovery if she makes it. We're going day by day. Like I said, it's a small family. My grandparents, 2 kids, 4 grandkids. And Shannon's single. So 3 adults in the middle. You know, my dad, my mom, and Shannon. Small, tiny family. Very, very, very close. This has affected all of us. I mean, Devin it grew up with a real shit family. And my family is the first family she's ever really felt like she had. And she's devastated. She has her own medical issues. She spent most of last week on the bathroom floor because she was so sick to her stomach worrying about my aunt. And that doesn't even come into consideration when it comes to the fucking bills, because it's not just the medical bills, guys. It's the mortgage and the credit cards. She just bought a new car because she had to, because she fucking drives. She works in Connecticut. She has 3 jobs, 2 here in Massachusetts, and then 1 in Connecticut. So she's commuting to Connecticut every fucking day. You know, she's killed like fucking 5 cars doing that. And then, you know, the food. They have 4 cats. There's too many cats, but they have 4 cats. You know, like the transportation to go see her. It's an hour and a half drive to go see her. You know, like there is bills upon bills upon bills that a normal person has. Disability is not going to pay for that.
I mean, disability doesn't pay for fucking anything.
Yeah, and her daughters, who are 21 and 24, and my fucking grandmother and grandfather, who are in their 70s and not exactly healthy, mind you, have to deal with that. My grandmother's freaking out right now because she still pays her bills with checks and doesn't understand Shannon's account. She's like, what do you mean electronic? You know, like I can't tell what's being paid automatically, you know? And I was like, Graham, like you got to get her phone too, because, you know, like depending on her credit cards, there might be apps and she might have different passwords for all these apps.
Yeah.
You know, like there's so many things. It's just like, you don't think about that when somebody's sick or hurt, you think about that person, but there's so many things behind the scenes that we have to worry about. So that's what the GoFundMe is for. It's really for my cousins. One of which is a $20 patron. So she's helping support us.
Yeah, Maya's been
still
a supporter of us for years now.
Yeah. Yeah. My cousins are cool, dude.
Yeah, I
awesome
literally
chicks.
remember when she joined, and I was like, oh, she's at the bottom. It'll be interesting to see, like, when she eventually rises. She's, like, almost at the top now of our patrons for how long she's been here.
Yeah, like, these are good people. And, I will link the GoFundMe in the show notes. Don't feel obligated to help, but if you could share it, that would really help. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have $1 to your name, dude, like, that's fine. If you have people like in your family that need help, like, I totally understand. I'm not here begging for your money.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you an American tale.
Yeah, and I think it was important to have some space to talk about it because you haven't had time to.
No, I haven't. I mean, this is the first time.
Mike and I we basically haven't been able to talk for the last week. Like, all of our podcasts got postponed. Like, this is the first time we've sat down and talked for more than, like, 5 minutes online.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to give you one more example of the kind of person that Shannon is, when I first became homeless, I ended up living in this, like, really rough and tumble house. It wasn't that bad when I got there. And when I say that bad, I mean, yeah, there wasn't running water, and, the only thing to eat was stale cereal and drink beer. But it got worse. They were dealing weed, but then they started dealing other things. And then they got a group together, and then they started, beating down drug dealers and taking their stuff and not paying them. So they started to form a gang, right? And I lived there. So I knew everything that was going on behind the scenes, and then they tried to, get me into this gang, right? They started, like, actual gang rituals, right? And this is just fucking country white boys. But I was so far from I couldn't walk anywhere. I needed help, right? So it's like, it was either join the gang or, we're gonna, like, kick your ass until you fucking leave, basically. I didn't want to join this gang. I didn't want to have anything to do with that. I was a kid. I was, like, fucking 17. So, like, I didn't have any idea that, hey, like, maybe these people are going to show up and shoot up the house, So these guys started, like, bullying me bad, like, really bad. And, kicking my ass. And then I got sick. I got really sick. I got super bronchitis. It was fucked. I was losing weight. I was, like, 135 pounds. And I haven't grown since middle school. So, like, I was the same size that I am now, minus, 50 pounds. So the one person that I thought I could talk to was my Aunt Shannon. And she came and she got me and helped me get out of there and took me in and put up with me. Because I was a fucking mess, dude. I was a mess. I had not been in civilization in 8 months. I hadn't left that house in 8 months. I had done nothing but smoke pot and live in that fucking house for 8 months. And she put up with me. There was one time where I overslept and missed the girls coming home from school, and they were locked outside of the house. The kids, like, little kids. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And she fucking forgave me for that. Like, she was a good person. She is a good person. And, I love her a lot. So I'm hoping that she gets better, But anyway, and she has been getting better. And I'm happy. I'm, like, really, really, really happy about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, like, again, I'm not here to bum you out, but this is a real thing. And if you feel yourself hurting because, maybe you feel some kind of, sense of connection to the story. Maybe you're a single mom. Maybe you work too fucking hard. Maybe you live in a place where there's no way to get out. Like, you're not alone, and a lot of people feel that way. I've felt that way. I had to rely on the system in order to get my fucking job that I have now. I was on unemployment for a long time, and that was the only way that I was able to work on YouTube, because it wasn't making any fucking money on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
we still don't make any fucking
yeah.
money on YouTube.
Yeah, we on YouTube.
On
no,
YouTube,
we don't make
no.
any money. It's all Patreon. And that's the thing is like, like we've lost money on Patreon. And that's because we don't put out as much content as we usually do.
Well, as we used to. We're putting out more than we
yeah,
were.
as we used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't have the same space to promote the Patreon. So, obviously Patreon's just like everything else. It's just like YouTube. You gain subscribers, you lose subscribers, right?
Yep.
But we're not gaining as much Patreon support as we used to, because we're not able to promote it as much as we used to. And we need that in order for us to survive. So asking for help from my Aunt Shannon is also like stabbing myself in the foot to a degree. And I'm sure she wouldn't want that, but it's like, it's important. It's important. So if you could, at the very least, please share the GoFundMe on anything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever works, any way that you can. It does help. It still helps. Even if one person sees it, it really does help, because we've been able to raise a lot of money for her. I mean, don't get me wrong, like a lot of it is coming from friends and family. Like literally she has so many friends. The whole town she lives in is up in arms over this whole thing. It's craziness. I've never seen one person have so much support, but she earned that support. Like, if she was born when I was born, she would definitely be a social media star. She's just that fucking good at networking with people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, complete opposite of me.
Me too. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, like, I have certain talents that I was able to exploit, in order to do what I do. But like when it comes to real life, I'm like a shy fucking shut-in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like for the most part, at least now. I wasn't always, but
Yeah, and I mean,
life
we're
happens.
also just lucky that we have friends that also have audiences that are willing to help too, even though we don't ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really nice of Arlo to retweet for me. And stuff like that. And, I haven't been able to talk to anybody in the con guys, or con group chat that we don't have. But I'm planning on it. I'd also like to do a video. And if you're still like listening to this, thank you. I appreciate that. And congratulations, you are now rewarded with anime time. Tyler, how was your motherfucking anime week?
Thank you for waking me up.
It's more like an anime 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, something like, well, yeah, we missed the podcast because I was dealing with this hospital
Well,
stuff.
that, and then I was out of town for a few days. There's a lot of things that have been going on behind the scenes for why podcasts haven't been coming out. I've been watching a good amount of anime though. I watched 49 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh in the last like 4 days.
Hell yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh's fucking awesome, dude.
Did you watch it in Japanese?
No. I watched it with subtitles on though. Is it different?
Yeah. I mean, Joey's not even Joey.
What does that mean?
In Japanese. It's not his name.
What's his name?
I don't remember. It's not Joey. Neither is Tristan. Tristan's name isn't Tristan.
Tristan's a bad name anyway. Tristan's voice in the dub like is so bad. It's hilarious how bad it is.
The only voice that's better in Japanese, or better in the dub, is Yugi's. Yugi's Japanese voice is not my favorite.
You mean like Yami Yugi, right? Like older or
little Yugi and older Yugi.
Okay. Elder Yugi in the dub. He wasn't that great starting out, but then they like found his voice, and it's so fucking good, dude.
Seto Kaiba.
Kaiba!
I'm yeah, it's so good. But in Japanese, like little Yugi's like like it's awful. He's like a chibi-kun. It's terrible.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, I like the dub, obviously, for Joey.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
Because-
It's so good.
Because Joey's awesome.
Joey makes Joey and Yami Yugi make that dub.
I don't know what it was with the fucking 90s and like that like awful like Brooklyn accent that they gave like all these anime characters.
great,
but
dude.
like fucking, well, I think Meowth is like Chicago, but like, you know, fucking Joey over here. What's up? I'm walking here. Come on, Yugi. What are you doing, Yugi?
Come on, Yug.
Like- yeah, Yug.
Yug. Come on, Yug.
Oh, thanks for the cards, Yug. Like,
Oh man, I got that
Baby
time
dragon.
wizard.
yeah, it's so fucking. It's so good.
But yeah, so I've watched almost 50 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh. And I've made it all the way through Duelist Kingdom, and then the like filler shit with the Hawkins girl and Duke dice rolling douche.
Okay.
And I think I'm just about I think I'm like literally one episode from the start of Battle City, which is the best fucking arc in all of Yu-Gi-Oh.
I don't think I've ever watched it. Like when I was rewatching, I got to the point past where like they like went into Yugi's brain with the like shaman guy from Egypt or whatever.
Okay,
And,
so
like, there was,
right
like-
at the end of the Pegasus arc.
Yeah. Speaking of which, in Japanese, I'm pretty sure Pegasus is voiced by the same guy who does the Margrave from
Oh, okay.
ReZero.
I can see that.
Yeah. You know, like
Pegasus's voice is also phenomenal in the dub. Yugi boy.
dude, he calls him Yugi Boy in Japanese too.
That's excellent.
He'll be like, you know, chattering away in fucking Japanese, and then it'll be like, Yugi Boy. Like, it's super funny.
That's awesome.
Um,
But yeah, we are planning a Yu-Gi-Oh video for December now.
yeah.
So I need to watch through 5 seasons. Essentially,
Oh wow.
I believe it's 5 seasons.
Dude, maybe we should just stick to season 1.
No,
and then-
we gotta at least get
well-
through Battle City.
Well, that's the thing, is that we can cover it a couple times, you know what I mean? And that way we don't like fucking kill ourselves with one video trying to squeeze everything into it, and then, you know, if it works out, if it does well, we can kind of like make a series out of it, like we were planning to do with like One Piece and stuff.
I guess so. I just, but then we won't get to cover Battle City.
Well, we'll get to cover Battle City, and you'll be excited
Next
about it,
year?
so will everybody else. That doesn't have to be next year.
That's
I mean,
fair.
it can be whenever.
It can be
you know what I
earlier.
mean?
I just like
Yeah.
see the problem with Yu-Gi-Oh. And it's not even a problem really, but like the original Yu-Gi-Oh season. Holy fuck!
Season?
I could not think of it.
Season 1?
Yeah, season 1. Thank you. They hadn't like figured out the card game yet, or they like I don't know like the history for sure, but either like the card game was out and this was happening simultaneously, and they were just like fuck the rules, because so much of season 1 makes no fucking sense in terms of how you actually
there's a
play
lot
the card
of-
game. So much bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of like, well, I think a lot of it has to do with like the terrain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the fact that they're fighting with these like dual, you know, whatever.
Well, there's like these like giant dual stadium almost things, like arenas. That's what they are, and each one has
Yeah.
like different. Depending on where they are
Rules.
on Duelist Island, each one has different rules for the field that they're in. But there are field cards in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like that is a thing that you can play in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay, I don't remember.
There's
that.
a specific
'Cause they do that
field
in-
spell zone.
Okay.
And
Yeah, they do that in Magic too. That makes sense.
Yeah. So they were essentially saying, okay, well, there is no field spell card zone. We are just making that part of the game, which is fine. That's like a cool little twist. But like, you can't attack people's life points in the original Yu-Gi-Oh. They only have 2,000 life points. It seems like you can like sometimes you can only attack with one monster, sometimes you can attack with more. The rules aren't really set, and then weird ass shit happens all the time, which like doesn't make sense based on the
Yeah.
card games. It's just anime, and they're just like, this is cool. You know?
Well, that's something to talk about.
Yeah. But when they get to Battle City, they're like, okay, we have a card game. And we're going to stick by the
Yeah.
rules, and the duels are going to be fucking dope. And then they get fucking dope, dude. Oh, I'm very excited
that's-
to watch through.
I mean, you have your episode right there. You can just nerd out about Yu-Gi-Oh! And like talk about the first season, talk about the dub, how good Joey was, and everything like that. And then you can talk about how like the first season doesn't really make any fucking sense, you know, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. There, you could easily write
Yeah,
fucking 40 minutes on that.
The
Guaranteed.
first season is very much like, I mean, I just love Yu-Gi-Oh! I love it so much. I still play Yu-Gi-Oh games like on planes and shit. I have the Switch Duelist Legacy, I think is what it's called, and it's the best fucking Yu-Gi-Oh game ever made because you can play through literally every single duel that happens in like all of the fucking seasons, and it's so fun. And you also see how fucking complicated the game gets over time because you'll play like original Yu-Gi with original Yugi's deck because you can play with the story decks, and you're like, this deck sucks. There's no trap cards. There's like 2 magic cards. When you get to season 5, every single card is like 18 fucking You have to read like the fucking Declaration of Independence 18 times before you play a card. It's insane. But right in between like that insanity and the original season is like this perfect middle ground where like the rules make sense. It's not too insane. It's just fun. And that's fucking Battle City. And like it's basically seasons 2 through 5. And then Jaden Yuki's arc, which is like GX, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, I think. And everything after that starts getting fucking insane. But
Yeah.
There's like this perfect, it's sort of like with sitcoms where like if you like a sitcom, usually seasons like 2 through 4 are really good. You know?
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
idea with Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have really fond memories of playing the card game. Like
The
even
card game's
because
so fucking fun, dude.
I mean, I was like 10, 11 when Yu-Gi-Oh came out, and like it was I could play with an 18-year-old and win.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it was something that was easy for everybody to pick up and play.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously there's probably like way
the
higher
rules
tiers.
have gotten fucking complicated now. There's shit like Karis just said. XYZ summons are a crazy thing. XYZ summons are a crazy thing, dude. Have you seen pendulum summons? I don't fucking understand what the shit's going on with those. There's like these new cards that are like pendulum monsters, and you need to play 2 of them, and they have numbers on them, and then you get to like summon a new monster that's in between them. It makes no fucking sense.
Damn. Also, Karis says that he's been watching Digimon Ghost Game. He says it's probably the best Digimon to come out in a long ass time. Recommend. That's heavy praise.
That is heavy praise.
Welcome back, Kit.
I've never been like a big Digimon guy. It just never like stuck with me. But fuck, man.
Oh, dude, Digimon was fucking metal back in the day. Like
I remember it being
liked
metal. I remember what was the like little dinosaur dude?
Agumon.
Yeah, Agumon. He was the main guy, right? The main dude's guy.
Yeah, the one who was like pepper bro.
Yeah. I remember when
That
he
guy.
like over evolved or whatever. You know?
Oh, into like Doom Metal Death Greymon.
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, and like
Skull
Greymon. Yeah, and like it was like a big fucking deal, and they were like trying to get him to like devolve, and it was like horrible, and he wouldn't listen to anything. He was like losing. Like I remember that shit.
Yeah, like, and there was like not necessarily death, but like there was definitely like it wasn't like Pokemon where everything was sunshine and rainbows no matter what.
Right.
Like there was actual like threats. Piedmon like creeped me the fuck out when I was a kid. That was like the puppet one. And then there was like Devimon and then Deviwoman, I think. And then like there was just like all sorts like the first series of Digimon for a kids show definitely pushed some boundaries back in the day, and I don't think anybody paid attention to it as far as like parents went
Mhm.
because, you know, Pokemon was on the fucking list. You know,
Right.
Pokemon was the one that was on the news.
Right.
Digimon was kind of just in the background, but Digimon was way more badass than Pokemon
Dude,
was.
fucking Yu-Gi-Oh's badass too. Like even the theme song, like the intro, it's fucking dark. You know, it's not like this happy-go-lucky thing. Like it has that same fucking shonen shit where it's like, with my friends beside me, I can do anything. You know, but like
Yeah. The American theme song is a lot better than the Japanese one.
It's really good and dark and it has like this like creepy ancient feel to it. Yeah. And also like I think it's like episode 1, like part of Kaiba's brain gets banished to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah,
you know,
and
like,
the Shadow Realm is like hell. It's like death.
Yeah.
Like you die there.
It's like an eternal damnation. Yeah, like fucking first fucking episode, the main character banishes a part of one of the other main characters' minds to the Shadow Realm. Metal, dude.
Apparently the manga is a lot more badass than the show.
I believe it, because the show is obviously made for kids. Like, because they have
it's made to sell cards.
It's made to sell cards, and every single time they play anything, it's like, I was complaining about this earlier before you got on, with everybody who was listening, but it's like, God, I've seen Yugi play Magical Hats with Dark Magician 18 goddamn times. I don't need you to tell me how it works anymore. I know. I know how Magical Hats works. There's 4 hats. The magician is under one of them. The bad guy is never going to pick the right hat. I get it.
Kit just posted a video. I have no idea. Yu-Gi-Oh! Leather pants.
What the fuck? What is this?
I don't know.
It's 7 minutes long. Oh my god. I played 3 seconds of it. I will watch that later.
It looks like a YouTube poop to me.
Yeah, it does. That actually, this is off topic, but have you ever seen, what is this called? The grapefruit method?
What? No.
It is one of the funny, I can't believe I had never seen this before. Hold on.
Is it a YouTube?
Yeah,
poop?
it's how to grapefruit your man. That's what it's called.
Oh
Have you never seen this?
No, I haven't.
I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that on there for later. You should watch that.
Okay.
It is one of the
My
funniest things I've seen in a long time.
My favorite will always be Bub Rub and Little Sis. I like. It's another one of those things that like lives fucking rent free in my head. The whistles go woo woo.
yeah, we've talked about that.
What do you have to say about these? What do you have to say about these whistles? You know, and that was in Oakland, by the way. You know, he's like, whistle go woo woo. That's only a morning sun. You should be up, make breakfast for somebody. Like, it's just, whistle go woo. Like, it's like, God, I fucking love it. But yeah, so you've been watching a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. I watched all of Monster.
Well, now you can read Yu-Gi-Oh. Get a little bit of.
I could if we want to do it where we're only doing the first season, then I'll stop. I'm not gonna stop watching Yu-Gi-Oh. Who am I kidding? But I will. I won't stop until at least I get through Battle City. But I will read the manga too, because I'd be super interested in reading that and seeing the difference.
Yeah, I think it's we should do it justice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And this way, if we separate it like that, we won't have to fucking wreck ourselves.
Dude, I will do Yu-Gi-Oh justice. Like, I don't know if I've ever been more excited to do a video since like Samurai Champloo.
Yeah. Well, maybe for the 3-year anniversary, we can do Dragon Maid for you.
Ooh, that could be fun too. Yeah, we'll figure stuff out.
I know you wanted to do that in December, but
I'm not worried about that. We'll do it at some point. I know we'll do it at some point, you know.
Yeah.
Dragon Maid's a fun one. We typically go with older stuff, you know.
Yeah. So, have you watched anything else?
Well, yeah, I mean, I watched all of Monster, which was excellent. I really
Did you watch it dubbed?
Yes.
You did?
I did.
Okay. Because I watched the first episode dubbed, and I was like, "Fuck this dub." I want to see the sub.
I tried to watch it subbed. I couldn't get it subbed on my TV, so I just said, "Fuck."
What do you mean?
Like I didn't have an option to change the language.
Oh.
Yeah.
Through what? Wait, what do you mean on your TV?
I have a smart TV, so I put it on a flash drive, plugged it into my TV.
Oh, yeah, it's because you don't have an app on your TV that'll read the subtitles.
Well, normally I do. Like, I have subtitles on the entire time.
Right.
I couldn't change the audio.
To Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh, see, you should see if you can download VLC to your TV.
I'll check
like
that.
VLC Media
That'd
Player.
be interesting.
Yeah, because that is like, if you don't have VLC Media Player.
VLC is on Xbox? Okay. I have an Xbox,
V-
but I don't
VL
really fucking use it.
VLC is free, and it is like the best video player
Oh yeah.
that exists.
I mean, hands down.
And it plays literally anything. Anything. So
Anything.
get that shit.
PNGs plays them like they're fucking video. It's great.
Yep.
But yeah, so I watched all that. I really enjoyed Monster.
Mhm.
That was one of those ones where it's just like I was watching it all day because we were going to try to get it out for Halloween. And
Yeah.
thank God we didn't fucking do that.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited to write or at least to work on that one with you because I think that one will be more of a combined writing experience.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, for sure. And there's going to be a lot of history that we need to go into and figuring out how to intersperse that history with the actual show because so much of it has to do with post World War II.
Yeah, there's a shitload of post World War II, East and West Germany, experiments that were being run, like
which has a ton to do with Soviet Russia and the Cold War and like a ton of it, dude. Like all of everything that you like deal with in Monster is all repercussions of basically the Iron Curtain and the communist bloc.
100%. And then on the other side,
Yeah.
like there's this entire historical section to it, which is fascinating and super interesting and amazing to see in an anime, you know?
Yeah.
And then on
It's super crazy. Like even knows about the Czech secret police and stuff like it's so much.
And then on top of that, you have the super philosophical side of it about, you know, are all lives created equal? You know, should a doctor be saving lives equally? Does, you know, is a doctor, if you save somebody's life, are you responsible for the lives that they might kill? You know, like it's really fucking interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's a page turner. You know what I mean? Like there's certain parts in the story where like like after a while, I mean, I think towards the end of the manga, which is pretty fucking long, I was like, are you seriously adding in a new character right now?
Yeah, that
Like,
definitely fucking
another
happens.
one?
That 100% happens where you're like, I think it's like 60 fucking episodes in and there's like a new fucking character and you're like, what? What do you do?
Yeah,
Stop.
like
What?
Yeah, like you're gonna give me this person's entire backstory. You're definitely just gonna kill them. Like you know, it's really wild.
But yeah, that was super great. And then new episodes of Way of the House Husband came out.
Okay.
So I watched.
Right on.
I haven't watched all of it, but like basically, I had friends in town. I had Grant was here for like 2 weeks, and my other friend Mike was here for like 2 weeks too. So at night I introduced them to Way of the House Husband because I thought they would enjoy it, and they did. So restarted that and watched a good amount of that.
Nice. And that's one with like 5-minute episodes or something like that.
It has, I think each episode is 5 minutes, but like it still does like a full regular 20 minutes. It's just there's 4 episodes in each episode. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear the manga is really good too.
It's a fun. Well, I've heard the manga is really good. The anime is like an animated manga. So it has that simplistic animation where it's like, basically, you're just seeing colored manga panels with very minimal animation on them.
Yeah.
So it almost feels like you're watching the manga.
Right. And then we also watched all of Bloodsea.
Oh, yep. You're right. I totally forgot about that, but we watched all of Bloodsea on top of that.
It's to a certain degree it is forgettable. Like a lot of people like, okay, so we have a reputation for recommending anime, like, you know, talking about great anime, right? Like that's kind of what we do.
Bloodsea
so
doesn't necessarily fall into that category.
I think people got the wrong idea with our Bloodsea episode. Like we're not saying that Bloodsea is a great anime. All I was saying was that it's good for like Halloween time. You know what I mean? It's not something that you have to like fucking murder your brain about.
I really thought the ending really made that clear because you started talking about the bunnies. And apparently,
that's the entire reason that I chose that show was because of episode 12.
Yeah. It's the only
Yeah.
reason to choose that show.
Yeah, like that like Blood Sea is so violent. It is so unreasonably, unnecessarily fucking violent, and I love that it was made by it was like written by a bunch of girls.
Yeah.
Like,
Kit says, so skip to episode 12. Got it. Yeah, it's 12 episodes long. So
I would skip to episode 6 if you really wanted to skip to episode 6 because everything from episode 6 is pretty great. The intro can be a little bit slow.
yes.
I think Devin would really like that anime just because of the fact that like you got your big titty goth girlfriend who lives in a Shinto shrine with a French cafe right across the street from it. That's like everything that she likes in one tiny spot. Like, the fucking like when I saw the French cafe, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like this is like an emo girl's fucking Instagram, like the show.
I mean, it was not like a great watch, but it was fun. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah,
it
was fun. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. It was fun. It was outrageous. Like it really was. I mean, like what the like there's so much shit in that show that is completely unanswered. That just like the Shrove Tide, like what the fuck
I
is
assume,
a fucking Shrove Tide?
We actually have a viewing party scheduled for, I can't remember fucking when. But here, wait, I just put up the schedule before we started this on the 9th. We're watching Blood Sea the Last Arc. So we're gonna have the full story on the 9th, and then we do the podcast literally right before. Maybe we should switch those that week. Maybe
we could do
the
that.
Patreon podcast first and then do the Bonsaipopteam after we've watched Blood Sea the Last Arc.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you're in the Patreon, you haven't watched Blood Sea yet, it's on Funimation. Like I said, like if you want to, you can skip to episode 6 and then kind of go from there. You probably won't be too lost, other than the fact that
you could probably watch episode 1 and then skip straight to episode 6. Like episode 1 would set it up, and then episode 6, nothing really would have changed.
Except for the fact that like you do get kind of introduced to the Shrove Tide idea where there's like this covenant and like, but it doesn't really matter.
You
and
get,
then there's the dog.
You get introduced.
You'll miss the boobs.
Wait, what?
I think the boobs are in episode 5, right?
I don't think so. You're talking about when she's in the bath?
Shower. Yeah.
I think that's...
They're not great boobs. The animation is only good in the fights.
That's true. 100% true. But I think that's like episode
elsewhere.
7 or 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's after what happens in episode 6.
Okay, yeah. And if the dog doesn't make any sense to you, don't worry. The dog doesn't make any fucking sense anyway. The dog is from like some other clamp, or clampu, fucking manga or something like that. Clamp is just amazing in general. Grab anything by Clamp.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend it. Like they're really good. If you want a real mindfuck, read Clover. Clover is so weird.
Yeah.
Like,
also, we're all about like supporting women mangaka too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So like anytime we can throw something out there that is like, by the way, this is made by a woman. Go support them. Good stuff.
Yeah, and apparently Holic is really good too.
I've heard
Obviously, everybody loves Cardcaptor Sakura. Cardcaptor Sakura is just something great to throw on.
I mean, that's something that we should
anytime.
cover at some point.
Yeah, totally. X. I'll leave that one up to you guys.
You said we're gonna cover X.
We are gonna cover X, but I mean, I have X on VHS still. I've carried that thing around with me forever. But yeah, it's wild. Clamp is just good in general. Have you watched anything else?
Is that not enough?
I mean, might as well cover what we've done.
I think that's everything. That's everything that I can think of. I was gonna watch Shaman King, but then we changed our schedule around, so I haven't started it.
That's fine. Yeah, Shaman King, that's gonna be another tricky one because it's very long and all of the omnibuses have not come out yet. So I'm like working off of like 4 omnibuses right now, and then I'm gonna have to jump on to the fucking manga like fucking scanlations and shit.
And
It's really
apparently
annoying.
there's like a new Shaman King that's coming out now too, I think. Or like a remake or
Yeah,
something.
that's the one. Yeah, so that one is on Netflix.
Right.
Is the new Shaman King. So it's already come out. The original one is like we're covering a lot of like early 2000s anime right now. And early 2000s anime is not the best looking anime. If you look at the original Shaman King, it's not a great looking anime. It's like one of those ones that was on Jetix back in the day a lot. You remember Jetix?
I don't, but
it was like Disney teen.
okay.
It was like teen Disney.
Gotcha.
And that was where like most people watched Naruto. Kit says MySpace anime. Yeah, so I guess on my end, obviously I've watched Blood Sea. That was a lot of fun. Again, it's just like a total gore fest with like a hot chick who's not overly sexualized. Really, she's really not.
Basically not.
Like, I think yeah, like I said, tasteful nudity. It's not like she was in the bath. That was it. And most of the time her tits were covered up anyway.
And
so
that
it's
was
like,
the only scene like that.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's like some panty shots, but it's like this person is dying and their skirt is up a little bit. You know, it's not like, ooh,
Well,
look
they're
at the
literally
panties,
being
you know?
hung upside down.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I was thinking more about the teacher in that case, but
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
those girls. And like, if you can get off to the twins, when their underwear shows, then
Go
you
to
have
therapy.
other problems. Yeah. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I've been keeping up with 2 seasonals.
Holy shit!
One
Seasonals.
one is the world's greatest assassin is reincarnated as an aristocrat
Oh, I've
in
heard.
another world
I heard
or
about
something
that.
like
That
that.
sounds interesting.
It's really good so far. It's a little bit fucked up, but I mean,
I mean, it's a story about an assassin.
it's anime. Yeah. It's not. I recommend it. Just don't go in there if like you're, really sensitive to things, I guess. You know what I mean? It's definitely a mature anime, I think. There's a little bit of like, I mean, the guy's an assassin. Like there's a little bit of like manipulation going on, stuff like that. It's weird. It's weird, okay? Yeah, an isekai where the MC is an old badass when he dies. Yeah. What if Gogo 13 but then isekai? Yeah, exactly. So that one is really good, and then there's another one, something evolution. Let me see. I'm gonna find it out right now. Evolution anime new. No, not Pokemon Evolutions. God damn
Fruit
it.
of Evolution, says Kit.
Yes. Yeah. What's it called?
Fruit of Evolution.
Fruit of Evolution. Yeah, I guess it's just called the Fruit of Evolution. I didn't know that. That one is a lot of fun. It's another isekai type. Yeah, it's an isekai. It's definitely, this one is a little bit fat phobic. It's definitely fat phobic, but it's a funny show. And I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And like, I mean, when I say fat phobic, like basically the main character is kind of like a chubby, like chibi type dude, and then he gets very handsome because reasons, and then like later in the series he's like, I was a fat slob, like blah 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 or something like that. So like, if that shit bothers you, then that's gonna, with really bad BO. Yeah. Yeah, he was bullied because he was fat. So yeah, it's it's very tongue-in-cheek. Again, like, I don't, everybody gets so offended about things. It's hard, like anime is just kind of like the Japanese view on physicality. And it's not just Japan. It's, a lot of like China and Korea is really bad, but like their view on physicality is very, what's the word? Strict, not strict, but it's very shrewd, I would say. You know what I mean? Like when you go to Korea, they say, "Hi, what's your name? How much do you weigh?" You know what I mean?
Wait, really?
Like that's just, yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Like my boss at one of my old jobs was Korean, and his wife was a white girl. They went to Korea together, and she said she got asked how much she weighed like 1,000 times.
Weird.
they're just, it's important to them, you know? It's just they're like, there's like Korea is the #1 plastic surgery capital of the world.
Yeah, it's just like,
You
if
know?
you did that here, that would be so fucking rude, you know?
Yeah, but there it's just very typical, you know, and it's not. It's been proven to not be healthy for people.
Well,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, but then again, you know, I only know first generation American Koreans
Mm-hmm.
that deal with that from their parents.
Right.
You know, so it's like they go to American schools with American values, and then they go home, and their parents are like, "You're not perfect." You know,
Well,
like,
there's a lot of cultures
so-
that can attest to that type of parent mentality.
Yeah, it's very, and I think when you have this very traditional Korean family that's living in America with kids who are very American, you get that cognitive dissonance,
Mhm.
right? Whereas in like Korea, everybody's kind of like that, so it's not as like traumatic. You know what I mean? There's been studies that have been done on like people in history where it's like, if death and murder is an everyday thing from the time that you're born until you die, you don't get affected by it as much. Like, you look back at like the Roman Colosseums and stuff like that. Like people went to that for fun, not to get traumatized.
Mhm.
Like it's fucked up, but it's just kind of the way it is. You just kind of are like, what's the word? Immune to it or whatever. You just get used to
Yeah.
it. So I don't know. Again, like that's the problem with comparing cultures and saying this is right and this is wrong. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, Soviet Russia, all the people in the gulags, that was wrong. That's easy to say that was wrong because it was a violation of human rights. People being a little bit, centered around, people's physical appearance. Like, I don't know. Is that right? Is it wrong? I don't know. Desensitized. Yeah, that. Thank you, Kit. So yeah, been keeping up with those seasonals. I'm really liking them. And I finished reading Monster a while ago, which was really good. I'm caught up more or less on what is out for Shaman King right now, as far as the recent re-releases of manga,
Mhm.
in their omnibus form. I read the new Konosuba light novel that came out. There's only 2 left, I think, to come out. It was really good. Like Konosuba's just it's Konosuba. You know what I mean? Like this one,
what you're getting into.
Yeah, and it's just like not every light novel is the same like level of good. Like 14 was okay. They go back to the Crimson Magic Village. A lot of it has to do with like Union, and that one was like, all right, I like Union for the most part. I just feel like that novel in particular didn't have that much like going on that was like really funny and stuff.
Mhm.
But 15 was really good. So that one, they took down another demon king general. It was really funny. It was so funny, honestly. Like I was like cracking up while I was reading it. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. I'm trying to think. Like I know I've picked up other stuff. I got a bunch of books on Japanese history that I'm like making my way through.
Nice.
Like pretty big thick books.
I also I
and
forgot,
then-
but I meant to mention that I was planning. I haven't actually started, but I'm planning on watching Psychopaths.
Oh, that's a fun anime.
Yeah, I figured like we haven't covered that yet. There's a couple that we like really haven't covered that I'd like to hit on next year. Like Psychopaths would be a good one. Steins Gate,
Parasite,
Parasite.
Steins Gate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have like a whole science fiction year. We don't do enough science fiction, and people love the science fiction anime.
Yeah.
And there's so much fucking science fiction anime. We could do like Code Geass,
Yeah.
or
Yes,
Geass,
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, well, the
Lucy
year
says,
of Bonsai Pop Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
Can
Hope you like
we
sci-fi.
can do Legends of the Galactic Heroes.
Yeah. Ooh. I like that. Fucking just do a bunch of like mech anime and stuff like that. Finally cover Gurren Lagann, piss everybody off, and lose all of our fans. I'm just not a big trigger guy.
I know.
You know what I mean?
We've been through it,
Like,
dude. It's gonna be the same thing as
Yeah.
Promare.
Oh yeah, Serial Experiments.
Oh,
Lane.
we could do Lane.
Might be able
Ooh.
to do like Blue Gender or something like that. That would be
Lane
cool.
would be fun. Lane would not be
Yeah.
fun. What am I
That's-
saying? Lane would be fucking a mind fuck.
Yeah. That's so. I left just quick.
Oh, Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, we should do a lot of these.
Fuck dot hack. I'm not touching dot hack. Garrett. You write me the dot hack script, and I'll fucking do it, and I'll give you credit. I'm not fucking touching dot hack. That's too much. Maybe when we're like 10 years in, like Giga, when he finally decided to do Fate,
Right.
I'll do dot hack. You know. But yeah,
there's nothing
so
left.
I left a comment on Mother's Basement's like one of his most recent videos, the one about vampire anime. He actually wanted to work with us on that one. Thank God we didn't take him up on the offer.
Yeah, because we would have completely fucked him over.
Yeah, exactly. Like my aunt getting in the hospital it was bad timing. October was not a good month on the personal home front for either one of us. Tyler emergency in the beginning of the month, Mike emergency in the fucking end of the month, et cetera, et cetera. It was just like not fucking good. It's probably like, again, January is going to be a very necessary month, and I'm excited to like hang out with you guys and give you guys the attention that you deserve.
We've talked about it before, but we're taking January to relax and reset and not burn out. Because I can tell you right now, I'm fucking feeling it. I don't typically feel burnout that hard. I'm fucking feeling it.
Yeah. Well, it's just been a lot of emotional stress.
It has been a lot of stuff on top of work, and it's really making work. Like, I can tell you right now, my fucking editing for Blood Sea was not my best. And I knew it wasn't my best, and I did not care.
I was like, man, Tyler did a mic on this one, dude. Tyler just used anime clips, but you know what? It was fine. Nobody cares. Yeah. Nobody fucking cares. Like you're not that I'm saying that your flair isn't appreciated, because people really do like it. You know what I mean? But like, if it's there, it's great. If it's not there, still good. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It was like, just like when I finished and I watched that, I was like, yeah, this was definitely a B video on my end. Like, I did so fucking little to like add some spice to the intro and shit. Like, I typically like to do more than that, and I enjoy doing more than that.
I don't even know if I put any memes in it.
The most animating I did was when you were like reading about the fucking
the shoulders. that made me laugh,
I thought
actually.
The shoulders was funny.
It's like, there's that fucking picture again.
Take another fucking picture. I don't have any other pictures.
Dude, that picture is so shit.
Luffy says, I almost destroyed a monitor last time I did an intro. Did you ever see that, by the way?
I did. Okay. Yeah, I loved it. I thought you did a great job. You did a great job. You should do that more often. I actually... You look better on camera than I do.
Like, totally disagree.
Hobo animal man right now.
100% disagree.
I don't know. Your beard is real nice. Like, you know, like your background looks good. Like it looked good. It was very
I have a fucking background now. Now my fucking set would look nice because I got all the colors and shit going on.
I'm just saying it looked very professional. I think you did a great job.
Well, I did have Grant's lights because he had already brought them up. So I used Grant's lights and his camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see. Yeah, see, I don't have any lights. I should probably buy lights. I only have one circle light, and it just washes me out.
Yeah, you should probably like.
I need to.
We had like the umbrella lights, you know, where like you put the like umbrella in front of the light and it diffuses the light. Yeah.
There's so many. Yeah, but there's so many new, like, better, smaller things to get now.
100%. It's just Grant already has that.
No, I know. But yeah, so I left this comment on Mother's Basement video about fucking, it would be like the fact that they haven't made a Buffy the Vampire Slayer anime is like a crime against humanity. A bunch of people were like, fuck yeah, dude, like that, fuck, dude, how has nobody thought about that? You know, because it just works really well, because at the end of season 7 there's a lot of Slayers from all over the world, or like even going back in time and doing a Japanese Slayer would be so fucking cool. And like dealing with all the Japanese yokai and like, you know, the Chinese vampires and stuff like this. It's just so fucking cool. That would be awesome. I would fucking, oh my god, I would give up my firstborn for Buffy the Vampire Slayer fucking
Me too.
Anime.
Because I don't have one.
But like somebody on there, knew who we were and asked us to cover an anime, which is something that, happens a lot. And it's, of course, it's something I've never fucking heard. It's always something I've never fucking heard of, and it's in Japanese. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't like ask me to cover things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah, it's
but
totally
somebody
fine.
like blew up on them in the comments. They're like, stop fucking asking them to fucking cover shit that you want them to cover. Like, they're gonna cover whatever the fuck they want.
I mean, that's true.
And did you know how much they get asked that?
Well,
Like, blah, blah,
listen,
blah. And I was
that person is right and wrong, right? Because it's 100% true that we're going to cover whatever the fuck we want. You can still ask, though. We just won't listen to you 99% of the time.
or we've already covered what you're asking.
That
us to.
also happens fairly often.
Yeah, Luthi just said Astro Boy when. Exactly, like that. Yeah, that's a very typical kind of comment. Except it's like, Yonoha Shigurako. When? You know? I'm like, what the fuck is that, dude?
Like, we
What the
got
fuck
another
is that?
one in our, I think it was our Twitter recently. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Oh, that's not Twitter. That I had never fucking heard of also. Where was it?
I was just making up words, Luthi. I have no idea what I said. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Fuck, I can't fucking find it. Say things.
That's fine.
Oh, here we. Wait. Nope, never mind. Say things.
Okay, so the best for people who are interested in getting us to cover something that they want us to cover, you sell it to me, okay? Don't be like, hey, can you cover like Karis just said, I'm Naku Korono or whatever. Anyway, like, don't throw some Japanese English at me. Tell me the name of it, tell me why it's fucking cool, and tell me why I should be interested in it. You gotta sell it to me, right? Because I'm never gonna remember, like Naku Korono. Kara says it was a joke. I'm never gonna remember that. But I will remember if you give me a thought out comment, message, something like that, about why this anime is fucking dope.
Like this person.
Don't spoil it.
This person messaged us on Instagram, and they said, I'll skip over the first part, but they was like, stay with me, Steel Angel Kurumi, early to mid 2000s. Shit is gold. Comically bad dub with La Ad Studios, boobs all day, lesbian love triangles, creepy stalker ladies, weird obsessed with a definitely underage boy, yikes on trikes. Fake science magic, gender fluid side characters, time travel. Like,
who sent this to us? Like, shout them out, because this sounds great.
Their name is Mary.
Mary, thank you. What's their at?
Juturna91.
There you go. It's probably G-Turna.
G-Turna? I mean, it's J.
I don't know.
It's a J.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. Anyway, thank you for the recommendation. Sounds awesome.
Sounds
I never read
ridiculous.
Instagram messages. I should read Instagram messages because our Instagram is way more popular than our Twitter. I also don't read our Twitter messages. I'm sorry, everybody. Like, I will get to it.
It sounds like
eventually.
we could never fucking cover this without it being demonetized.
You think?
Yeah, Blood Sea's still monetized.
Blood Sea has a full-on titty in it.
Does it?
And yeah, I left the titty in there. I was really like playing with the bots this time, just to see what we could get away with. You know what I mean? And Blood Sea has full-on titty in it. It's got a crotch shot leg split, death.
Yep.
And more blood than anything we have ever covered.
Is that true?
Yeah.
More than Hellsing?
Yeah, like,
you think?
I think we were pretty. I think we edited Hellsing heavily. I think we got rid of all the swastikas
Cole just
for the most part.
Just choked on G Fuel when I said Steel Angel Kurumi.
Steel Angel Kurumi.
Maybe we
share.
can try like a viewing party for it and see if it's actually something that we'd want to cover. I'm unconvinced based on the description.
Dude, I'm down to check it out.
Well,
I might have actually
we can
seen
check
this.
it out, but whether or not we cover it is a whole different story.
It looks familiar to me. It looks familiar. Anyway, so all right. So yeah, that was that sell an anime to me, you're 100% more likely to get my ears perked up. You know what I mean? So anyway, Cole's GIF just broke. What was I fucking talking about? Anyway, the thing that I've been most focused on is gantz. So gantz is one of those manga anime that people have been asking for
fucking ever, dude,
and recommending, and again, nobody ever sold me on it. Nobody ever told me what it's about. Like, I'm sorry, you want me to fucking cover something? Tell me about it. I'm not gonna go look up the fucking wiki. All right, tell me about it. Tell me why it's cool. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and then I'll be interested. But yeah, so I finally started. I picked up gantz. It was it's being re-released right now in an omnibus form. There are 7 volumes out, so technically that's 21. And right now volume 5 is almost impossible to get. I was lucky and I snagged it for the normal price on Barnes and Noble. So if you are trying to collect those, or you're interested in collecting those, volume 5, check out Barnes and Noble before you start collecting, because otherwise you're either going to pay, $200 for it, or you're not ever going to get it. There is a manga shortage right now. It's a major problem. It has stopped me from being able to collect Chainsaw Man. It stopped me from being able to collect Monster. Like right now for Monster, I have like 2, 3, and 4, and that pisses me off to no end. Like I almost want to take it off my shelf because I'm mad that I can't get volume 1. And all the ones that are sold out are being scalped by fucking eBay shitheads. So they're all like ridiculously expensive, like $200 for a fucking copy of the first volume of Chainsaw Man. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's awful. It's awful. Same thing with Dorohedoro, the last volume. Like,
Right.
I was so lucky to have a super nice person on Twitter send me one because she bought 2, and it was like she worked to send that to me because there was issues with my PO box and all sorts of stuff. She very sweet. Thank you so much. But yeah. So gantz. I've been reading gantz. Gantz is wild. I don't know how I feel about it. The anime is it looks like shit. It is streaming uncut on Funimation right now. I'm sure I've upset a lot of people by saying that, but it looks like shit. It looks like an early 2000s anime. And they all have this like weird look about them. Like, I don't know what it would. And the thing is that it's done by a good studio. It's not Madhouse. It starts with an R.
You said it's on Funimation?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at this right now.
It's only like 26 episodes.
That's nice.
Yeah, but the manga is very long. So the first like 5 or 6 episodes that I've watched so far have been pretty like
just looking
close.
at like the thumbnails, this looks insane.
Gantz is like, it's very next level. Yeah, it was produced by Gonzo.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, so like you'd think it would look really nice. It looks like shit. And I think a lot of that is because it's using those early like CGI things. So it's like,
wow,
it
does
not
look like shit.
Yeah, like some of it is, they'll do like weird CGI like pan shots, but the anime characters would be like totally flat. It's
I just watched
like
the slowest fucking pan in the history of anime, where nobody moved.
some of the shot compositions are really strange.
Oh my god, I'm like watching a guy like run down a railroad or like a subway. thing, and he's like running at like a different speed than like it's zooming.
That is the worst part of it. That like there is no sense of inertia in the anime. You know, because I've been like watching an episode here or there while I'm like reading through. I'm like on Omnibus 5, so I'm like 15 or so volumes in. But like it's there is no sense of inertia in the anime. It doesn't move right. Like the speed is not right. The hits don't like hit right. It's very fucking strange.
Every single zoom feels wrong.
It's fucking digital zooms,
yeah,
dude.
It's
That's
just
why.
wrong. Like
it's like what we do. It's not a camera zoom, it's a digi zoom, and it looks like
but
shit.
I know how to make a paradox effect better than that. Like if you watch like our
a parallax.
Parallax, that's what I meant.
Parallax.
Yeah, parallax. Like if you watch our fucking what was it? Our what shit, it was one of the Figurama ones that we did with the single dude, giant fucking rooms, tiny rooms.
Fucking
starts with a B, I think.
Gun and Killy.
Yeah, I think it starts with a B.
I can't think of it
Blame.
right now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kit.
Blam.
So yeah, it's a really ugly.
Yeah, if you
anime.
watch that fucking video, I did better zooming. I did better parallax effects in that video than are in this anime.
Yeah, and like sometimes like again, sometimes they'll do these big CGI like zoom pans, and like the anime characters will be flat, and like it's just like surreal in a bad way. Cole says Gantz is like elfin lead. Everybody seems to love it for its super violence, but can't remember anything else about it. To be fair, the elfin lead anime kind of fucking sucks too. Like I know I'm upsetting a lot of people, but like it just stops. You know, it cuts a lot of things out from the manga. I don't know what happens to Gantz as it goes, but the fact that it's only 26 episodes is not heartening.
Oh my god, these zooms are so bad.
There's a lot of tits in Gantz, the anime. There's even more in the manga. So this is like one of the, you know, like I'm all about titties, dude. Like I love titties, you love titties, we all love titties. Titties are great. The female form is a beautiful thing. There is definite like Gantz is hard to it's hard to explain because I think I can't tell if the author is a bad person or not. And it's frustrating because I can't tell if he is making a statement or if he's just a homophobic like objectifier.
This feels
you
like
know?
It's also in like 12 frames a second or something.
It's weird, man. It really is weird.
It feels wrong.
Yeah, it's super weird. But
they just got hit by like the slowest moving train in the world. What?
Yeah, like I said, right? That inertia is not supposed to make their heads fly off. So, one thing I can say about Gantz is that the manga is very good. Are you watching their heads fly off right now?
That was so stupid.
Wait till you get to the butter dog, dude.
This is episode 1.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. All right, I'm gonna stop watching.
Again, like I said, the animation just does not do it any
that
justice.
Was bad.
But the manga is very good, and but the thing again, like I said, like every single chapter beginning has a naked girl on it.
For Gantz?
Every single chapter has like of Gantz has like a naked, half naked, tits out, crotch out. Like I'm talking full bush.
Are they
like
important?
No, some of them aren't even characters in the thing. Ugh. And like so there are sections like, and again, I don't really care. Like do what you want to do, right? You know, but like be straight up about it, you know. And he was in one of the like the mid volume kind of like end of the volume thing. There's like interviews with the creator and stuff like that, and he's like, I love big tits. I really love big titties, like huge tits. They're like my favorite thing. He's like, I love drawing them, and I guess like part of the one of the ways that he got famous in the first place was his name is Hiroya Oku. One of his first like manga submissions was this short story, and there was like a sex scene in it, and he made a screen of a boob moving, right? So it's kind of like the path of this like breast and nipple moving, right? That gave a sense of action.
He
right?
got famous for boob movement on a still image.
Yes. And he's like the father of like like some of the like a lot of like hentai and doujinshi.
Really feel like there should have been a mother of that and not a father.
And he was like, well, I mean, whatever, like anybody can draw a tit, but like it's like he did say, he was like, I was very chagrined that the only thing that people talked about in that manga was that drawing of the boob. He was like, I would have liked if they actually liked the manga, but they really did like how I drew a boob in action.
Yeah, I've been poking through the covers. About half of them are naked women.
Yeah, and if they're not naked women, it's dressed very well endowed.
No, there are other ones, but they're few and far between.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of objectification in the manga, but again, this is where I can't tell if he's like just a bad person or if he's making a statement, because the main character is a 10th grader and he is obsessed with sex and women and tits. You know what I mean? Like a 10th grade boy is.
Right.
Sometimes, depending on the 10th grade boy, but I can understand that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Like,
I'm pretty sure from the time
a horny fuckhead in 10th grade.
Yeah, like from the time that I was 12 until I was like 21, it was like tits and sex, fucking and sex, pussy and sex. Like that's literally, that was like all that was on my mind all the time. It was like, how can what I'm doing get me sex eventually? Like how what way can I pedal my bike that will make me more sexually appealing? You know what I mean? Like, so, and this kid does like really bad things. There's this one point where he takes a girl in, who needs somewhere to stay, and he expects sex out of it.
Yeah, that's a really bad fucking thing.
Yeah. And she is like really into this other dude, and it's actually gone into better in the anime than it is in the manga. But like when she says no, he kicks her out of his fucking house.
Wow.
But again, that's like, is he just creating a real character with flaws? Or is this coming from the way that he feels about things? Right. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
Like,
yeah, I mean, it's like, Rumiko Takahashi and fucking, I can't think of his name right now, the old guy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Happosai, that's it.
Yeah, Happosai. Yeah. So it's like, in one way, the main character K is very realistic for kind of like a shitty teenage boy. And like this manga is full of shitty people. Mm-hmm. Like there are good people, but there is a lot of shitty people. And I think like sex plays a big role in this manga for sure. And I have yet to figure out if it is a really well done characterization or motif, or if it's just gratuitous. You know what I mean? Because the idea of the anime is that, or the manga, the story is that people die, and then they're brought into this room with this orb, and they are given weapons and a power suit and sent out to kill aliens. They have a time limit, and there's rules, right? You can't go out of bounds or your head will explode. You have to kill all of the aliens, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can't talk about it because you are allowed to leave after you go home. So basically, like when you die, this thing makes like a photocopy of you, right? And it's called gantz, and it'll make mistakes, right? So like one of the characters committed suicide but was rescued, but because her heart stopped, she was like, faxed into this like gantz room and shit like that, and now there's 2 of her, right? And
I see.
it's super fucking violent, and honestly it can be like very unnerving sometimes and scary, and like like I said, there are like some bad people in this manga. It deals with people from the Yakuza, it deals with biker gangs, like deals with like punks from school. There's and again with the homophobic thing, like I can't tell if it's homophobic or if he's just making characters that are shitty. You know what I mean? Like there's this one gay guy who's like a senior in high school, and his plan is to like rape this one dude, right? So this one dude ends up kicking the shit out of him. And it's like, okay, but I also haven't seen a good portrayal of a gay person yet. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
And then there's another guy who like Gantz. So Gantz is like, I still haven't, I don't know what it is yet, but it has a sick sense of humor, right? So like the girl, it calls her tits. It calls like one of the guys errand boy. It has a nickname for everybody, basically.
It's like a machine. It's like an AI or something.
Kind of, but there's also a person inside of it that is like comatose and like hooked up to it and naked. I don't know. It's very strange. And like it called this one dude homo, right? And when they found out he was gay, everybody like kind of started avoiding him. You know what I mean? So again, it's like, is he showing homophobia as being a bad thing, or is he homophobic? Like, I can't fucking figure it out. Like, I can't figure out if fucking Hiroya Oku is a good guy or, a piece of shit. Like, I really don't know. And there's nothing really like on him that would necessarily, like his bio is super fucking short. Is a Japanese manga artist, creator of Gantz, Gigant, Hen, Inuyashiki, and he's influenced by Katsuhiro Otomo, who is best known for Akira. There's a lot of Akira and Fist of the North Star reference in this manga. In fact, the guns work like Ken's fist, right? So like there's a lot like there's
really
so like you shoot and then there's a delay and then the things explode, like from the inside. Yeah, it's really fucking cool. And he was influenced by Roichi Ikegami, best known for Crying Freeman, and Heat, which were written by Buronson, who is the guy who did Fist of the North Star. So yeah, this makes sense. And again, the Fist of the North Star guy is not that guy. Akira, like that's not bad either. I think that it's edgy. Obviously, like Akira was very edgy. Fist of the North Star was very edgy. So I think that like,
well, it's going to be one of those things where it's like people are going to have different opinions, right? Like some people think that that Ranma half is super like bad.
Oh yeah, like homophobic and stuff like that.
Like homophobic and shit. Where it's like, well, no, there's a character written like that for sure. Like. But there's a point behind it. I think the main thing is going to be, is there a point for the people being bad? Is there a reason for them to be bad?
Yeah.
Is
there a reason for all this like sexuality and sexual depiction? Like his manga often contains explicit violence, sexual depictions, and matters that are considered taboo by the public. He's also known as a pioneer of the use of digital processing for manga backgrounds. So he is known for covering taboo shit with explicit violence and sexual depictions. you
Yeah,
know?
but the question is why? Is there a
Yeah.
reason for it? You know, like there's a lot of taboo shit that you can cover, and if you cover it well and you have a reason for it, it's like, well, okay, no, this isn't bad. This is a fucking work of art.
Exactly. And I'm getting a vibe that Gantz isn't just about like fucking killing aliens and titties. You know what I mean? Cause and like it's really, really good with tension and
Mm.
and like a little bit of like fright. Like there was parts in Gantz that got more of an illicit response from me than most manga that I've read.
Mm.
Whether it's, disgust or shock or sadness or, like Gantz is it's like as a manga, it is a very emotional ride. But I'm wondering if there are ties to like teenage male sexuality in the entire thing, like maybe this like Gantz thing is kind of like a metaphor for the turmoil, like it's hard to, having not finished it yet, it's hard to give a definite opinion on it. But, like there's definitely points where I was like, but I'm also really enjoying it. So I guess I can't complain, like it's hard to, it's like Cock Warlock says, projection or condemnation, it's like, I haven't finished it yet. I have to finish it. And I think part of that, that might be part of his things. Like, like don't fucking say anything until you finish it. Because with Gantz, you really don't know what's coming. Like, you really
Well, I
don't
guess
know.
we'll find out.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a feeling that the anime is probably not indicative of whatever it is that Gantz was trying to portray. Anyway, Tyler, got one last section. This is like a super Bonsai podcast. Let's talk a little bit about video games. What you been playing?
You think I've had time to play video games? You're funny.
You haven't played any video games?
I played one night with Neonosis and we played Deep Rock Galactic. I played one night with Krona and we played Dead by Daylight. And that is the only video games I have played in over 2 weeks.
Nice. Okay. Well,
That's it.
That makes this easy. So
Yeah. Basically, when I've had time, I've been playing with patrons.
yeah.
Well, Neo actually, he messaged us about some Patreon stuff. And he was like, by the way, I'm around if you want to play games. And I was like, fuck yeah, I want to play games. So we went and we got our fucking ass handed to us in Deep Rock Galactic. But it was a really good time.
Hell yeah.
Neo's a fucking funny dude. He's a very funny assassin.
Yeah, you gotta have a sense of humor if you're gonna go around the world,
Well, yeah, I mean, how else are you going to get into the places you need to get into?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be super personal.
Yeah.
No, Neo's funny all the time. Like, it's
Yeah, it was a really, really good time hanging out with him.
yeah,
Haven't gotten to do that in like a long ass time.
yeah.
But it was very fun.
Right on. Well, I have actually been playing not a long time, but I've been playing quite a few different games. So I've been in a real shmup phase. So I have been playing Gunbird 2 on the Switch. I've mostly been playing the Switch. Buddy?
Gunbird 2, huh?
Yeah, Gunbird 2. It's I really like the Japanese bullet hells where you kind of play as like a flying person. I ended up back into this phase because of Cotton Reboot. And then because that's a lot of fun. Cotton is we talked about it last time. But Cotton Reboot is a lot of fun. I do like shoot 'em ups quite a bit, which are basically like, there's shoot 'em ups just like with goofy looking enemies and, like imagine Hello Kitty being a shoot 'em up.
That sounds awesome.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
then I got an email from a PR company on like my personal email, right? Because I've used literally all my emails to go to PAXs before. So like all my emails get different offers. And one of them was from, somebody who was like, oh, hey, we got review codes for this new Cotton game coming out, and I was like, fuck yeah, give me that review code. So I got a review code for Cotton 100%. And then they emailed me the next day and like, we got another Cotton game coming out. It's Cotton Panorama, which was on It might have been on the Sega Saturn, which is more of a fuck. Guys, what's that game that's in every single Space Harrier? It's like Space Harrier, except it's cotton. And I was like, yeah, fuck, give me that review code. Here's my review. They suck. Cotton 100% and Cotton Panorama are not great examples of cotton games. They are very difficult, which is fine. Well, Cotton Panorama is not difficult. Cotton Panorama is just not very fun. That's the one that's like Space Harrier. I was never a big Space Harrier fan anyway. I like the arcade one where you sit in it. And most people have never played that because it's very, very rare. In fact, I don't know if you remember Top Hat Gaming Man.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he came to America for a little while, and I told him, I was like, go up to Fun Spot, check it out. Fun Spot's that's the world's largest arcade. I grew up around there, and
it's the world's largest?
Yeah.
God damn.
And he was super stoked because they had the Space Harrier sit-in machine. So, I played that a lot when I was a kid, and that's fun. But Space Harrier in general, not my favorite game. So the Cotton one, not my favorite game. The levels lasted fucking forever. And it just it was very difficult to hit the enemies. It just wasn't that fun. And then Cotton 100% is a very bare bones Cotton game, especially after playing Cotton Reboot, which is really good. So I highly recommend the Reboot. Not too into the other Cotton games. Thank you for the review code. I appreciate it. And then, so I got Gunbird 2. Gunbird 2 is a lot of fun. Very cool. Very good animation. Very pretty. I got, and then, because I was looking at, I was looking up shoot 'em ups because I've been wanting bullet hell shoot 'em ups in particular. Shit. Shmup. And I found this one channel, I can't remember, Esparade ESP Raid Sci. Okay. Raid is RA.DE. So ESP Raid Sci, which is a Japanese arcade game. It is a shoot 'em up, bullet hell, and you got like 3 characters to pick from, and it's available on Switch, but only in the Japanese store. So I had to figure out how to get in. And I found out that a lot of games are only available in the Japanese eShop.
No shit.
Yeah. So it is a pain in the dick to buy things off of the Japanese eShop. First of all, you have to change your console to Japanese, which you have to do online. And you also can't have autopay set up for your family plan. Right, so I had to turn autopay off for whatever reason.
Jeez.
And then so I get on to the Japanese eShop, and it's all in Japanese. Right? So
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So that made it difficult for me to navigate the eShop, let alone find the game that I was looking for. So what I had to do is I had to go onto the internet on my computer, find the game on Nintendo, favorite it on the PC, and then go into my favorites on the Japanese eShop, which again, you have to know how to do already, but I favorite games all the time are heart games that I want for my wish list, so I know where the wish list is. So I finally got where I was supposed to go, and then it came time to buy the game, wouldn't accept any of my cards because none of my cards transfer into yen. Right?
Right.
So then I had to go online and buy a fucking Japanese eShop card. Right? So the eShop cards for America and or in PAL and whatever are not the same eShop cards as the ones for Japan. So I had to find a way to buy a Japanese eShop card. So I had to go on like G2A, and get a code for a Japanese eShop card, but they cost more money than they're worth. Right? This game's $50. So I had to get a 5,000 yen fucking 5,000 yen eShop card. And I had to pay $55 for the fucking thing. Pissed me off, right? And then afterwards, I had like $1.20 or something left on my eShop card after I finally bought this game. And
Mhm.
then when I turned my shit back to English, it took my money. It took my $1.29. So Luffy says, "Thank you for the dollar, Mr. Pikisri." Exactly.
Really, Nintendo just doing what Nintendo does best, huh?
Yeah. And it was like, I mean, my other option was to order it from Japan, wait 2 weeks, and spend $75 for the physical copy. You know what I mean? So it's like, for a shoot 'em up, you know, like, I'm like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's an amazing shoot 'em up. Amazing shoot 'em up in bullet hell. Sai, or ESP Raid Sai, or ESP
Mhm.
Raw Day Sai is fucking awesome. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I played it for hours. That's like great. And I highly recommend it. I will probably have footage of it on an upcoming Bonsai podcast once this Metroid speed run is done. Which honestly, I don't know if I'm having enough. How long have we been doing this? 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, I have plenty of content for the
2 hours and 40. I have 2 hours and 56, dude.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was sorry. I was just looking at the latest timestamp. Yeah, 2 hours,
Oh
56.
my god, we've been doing this for
57.
almost 3 hours? No wonder I'm so fucking hungry.
All right. So anyway, I've been playing a lot of shmups. Last thing that I've been playing, and I've probably been playing it the most. You ready? It's gonna surprise you.
It's not gonna surprise me.
Pikmin Bloom.
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
The mobile game.
Yeah, now I got it.
So it's
You know, I'm not surprised because you fucking talked about it on Twitter.
oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I was
Yeah.
complaining about it on Twitter because it has monetization.
Yeah,
in
but then I knew that you were playing it.
So Pikmin Bloom is the newest Nintendo Niantic crossover. What, you know, obviously they're famous for Pokemon Go, and it's fucking awesome, dude. Like, well, okay, it's not awesome. I mean, like, if you're looking for like an intense gaming experience, Pikmin Bloom is not the game for you. But
It doesn't even sound like an intense game.
no, yeah.
Pikmin Bloom.
So I love Pikmin. I love the music and everything. It's just awesome. Like, Pikmin is one of my favorite franchises. And Pikmin Bloom is, I guess what I would call it is a walking encourager. So it just makes walking fun. And you know, the more you walk, the more that you like achieve like little goals, the more you level up, the more Pikmin that you're allowed to have in your party, the more places you go, the more options you have for sending your Pikmin out to gather supplies and stuff. You can send them on kind of like little like adventures that have like time limit cooldowns.
What level are you at?
11.
So I have heard or seen, I guess, I think on Arlo's Twitter, that at 15 you need to do like a raid or some shit, which means that you need to find other people.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I haven't been sleeping great. So this has actually been like a pretty big help, you know, because it's given me a reason to like get off my ass and do some exercise. Like, I walked like, before I took a nap before this podcast, I walked 11,150 something steps today, which is probably more than like my monthly step count. Like,
We don't walk very much. Our desks are in our rooms.
yeah, yeah. So
We have to go out to walk.
yeah, no, literally. So I've been riding the exercise bike to get steps in, because it will count that on there. I've been like going out, and the other really cool thing is like you can plant flowers while you walk at a certain point. So
By the way, I did I found what the tweet I was talking about. It was Chaka Conray. Arlo respond to it.
oh yeah, I'm supposed to play fucking Mario Party with him soon.
But he said, got to level 15 in Pikmin Bloom, saw I needed to clear a challenge, looked up what it meant, saw it was a raid battle feature, probably quitting because I have exactly 0% chance of finding one other person who plays this locally. Couldn't even do raids in Pokemon Go.
I wonder where Chugga lives.
I think he's somewhere in the mid-country.
Probably. He's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
Devin plays, so maybe me and Devin will be able to play together.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
Luthi says Death Valley. I seriously doubt he lives in Death Valley, but that would be very impressive. Yeah, so that was one of the things I was gonna say. Cole says he does 13K on a normal work night. Like if you are somebody who works on their feet, this is a great app for you. Because it will, obviously it'll count your steps and stuff like that, but you'll be able to level up like pretty easily, and you'll be able to decorate your workplace with beautiful flowers on the Google Maps or whatever it uses. And that's kind of a cool thing is like, so basically like as you go, your Pikmin will bring you like fruit and stuff like that. When they bring it to you, it gives you nectar. You give the nectar back to the Pikmin. They grow flowers on their heads, and then you can pick the flowers. And then you can use those flowers to then plant them on your walking paths and stuff like that. So today I like planted a bunch of red flowers like all over the park. And then I went up to another city and I walked all around there and I planted a bunch of flowers out there. And obviously my house is covered in flowers. But the one thing that is a problem besides the raid, and I think I saw places where you can raid today while I was out, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Because like there was this giant flower stem. And so there is an in-game currency called coins. Okay. Keep it simple, I guess. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you use coins to buy like stuff. You can buy like more flowers, because you only get a certain amount depending on like how active you are and shit.
Okay.
So let me check this really quickly.
Was that you like opening the app?
Yeah, it has really nice like relaxing Pikmin music. Okay, so here is so the flower pack, like there's packs, right? So the flower pack costs 480 coins. You get 100 blue flowers, 100 red flowers, 2 special nectars, and 100 yellow flowers. That is 480 coins. The largest one, the bloom pack, is 1,480. You get like a bunch of detectors and a bunch of tulip petals and, also like 15 special slots. I don't know what the special slots do, but I imagine they allow you to grow special Pikmin, because there are Pikmin that wear like hats and stuff like that. And like, have like themes and shit. You can buy upgrades. It looks like you can only buy those. They're $2 a piece. That's not terrible, depending on like how much time you're spending with the app. Like the way that I see it is like, if you get an hour of enjoyment out of something, give it $1. Like so I don't really see that being a big issue. The problem is these things that cost coins, right? So nectar, right. 100 nectar is 100 coins, a single use slot. So you get 2 slots to...
I'm always down to like give money to games if I keep getting content from the games, but not if it's to buy more of the same content.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So you only have 2 slots to grow Pikmin. From what
I think Devin just joined because she's like, "What the fuck are you still doing?"
Yeah, probably. So you only get 2 slots to grow Pikmin. By the way, Hun, we talk in the Bonsai Boys streams chat if you had something you wanted to let me know. So you get these single-use slots generally when you level up and stuff. So you can grow like 3 Pikmin at once or, 5 Pikmin at once, depending on how many you have. And then, like I said, there's these special slots. And I imagine, like I said, they will help you grow like, rare Pikmin or stuff like that, kind of a gotcha type thing. They cost 150, 400 to 450 for 1 to 5 single-use slots, and 200 to 600 coins for the special slot or 5 special slots. And then here's the value of the coins. 100 coins is $1. 550 coins is $4.99, so you get those 50 coins extra.
You get extra.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you can buy 14,500 coins for $99. So it goes from $1 to 5 to 10 to 20 to 40 to $100, right?
Yeah.
They should not give you the option to spend $100. I don't like that.
That's a fuckload.
That is a ridiculous. Like, you should never spend $100 on any video game. ever.
I would do it on the Yakuza 6 one with the whiskey glasses.
Sure, but you're not just spending the money on the video game. You're getting something physical.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I have probably spent over $100 on Dead by Daylight at this point.
Okay, but
would
I
say.
mean, how many hours have you put into it? You know what I mean?
Like hundreds.
Exactly. Like, I mean, back in the
Yeah.
day, like I used to fucking put like, you know, $50 into an
Devin's
arcade
asking
machine.
what I've bought. That every time they come out with a new DLC, which is 4 times a year, Devin, there's new killers and new survivors with new perks, and it typically costs between $5 to $10.
She says, "Oh Lord." But yeah, so
Although the newest one I was able to buy with in-game shit that I've had a shitload of for playing for so long, which was awesome.
right. So, the way that you get coins in game is by planting flowers. And I have planted a lot of flowers. I am level 11. I don't know the total amount of steps that I've walked. It looks like I've walked somewhere around 26,000 steps. Guess how many?
Seems like a lot of steps.
Guess how many coins that I've made? With knowing that
5.
knowing that one single use slot is 150 coins. Guess how many coins I've made?
5.
Less.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
3.
Less.
1.
2. I have made 2 coins since I've started
You
playing.
made 2 cents worth of playing.
2 fucking coins.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. So if like again, I think you plant more flowers the more you move around, distance wise. So I think when I was planting flowers on the bike, I wasn't planting that many flowers. I think the more distance that you travel at a reasonable speed, assuming that you're walking, you get more, you plant more flowers.
By the way, I have 725 hours on my primary Steam account in Dead by Daylight.
Okay, yeah. So I guess $100 isn't that bad, considering.
Yeah.
And
I have more on a separate account for when I play with people who are new, so that they don't get fucked immediately.
yeah, he's not born; he's adopted, Luthi. Doesn't count. But yeah. So I don't. I mean, I walked a couple miles today, like only planting flowers, and I only made 2 coins. So Devin just posted a picture of Naru.
It's a great picture.
Makes the best faces sometimes. But yeah, so if you wanted to buy anything with coins, you're going to pay money. You know what I mean? Like you're going to pay money. And if you want to buy anything except for flowers, you're going to spend $5. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like it's the again, Nintendo
Some more
always
fucked
says
up microtransaction
yes,
shit.
exactly. Nintendo is always like, "Oh, we're so good about microtransactions." Everybody fucking sucks their dick and fingers their butthole and like makes them feel
They're
real
great
good.
about it on their actual shit, but they're not making this.
Yeah, but they're partnered
You
with
know?
it. They have the
They're partnered with
yay
it,
or nay.
but it's like, yeah, but it's like, well, it's not us though. You know, as soon as it's not inside of them, they're like, no, make us fucking money.
yeah, but well, that's the thing though, is that even still with like Pocket Camp is way worse than this because Pocket Camp has loot box mechanics that cost money.
Yeah.
So it's
that's
randomized
bad.
shit. And Mario Kart, I think, isn't much better. But the problem is that they expect too much money for their stupid little games. Like, remember when Mario Run came out? It was $10. Everybody was like, I'm not paying
I never
$10.
bought Mario Run.
I'm not paying $10 for a fucking mobile game. And then Nintendo was like, oh, well, they're not going to buy our games, so we'll just give them out for free and fuck them over with microtransactions. You know? I guess we did this to ourselves.
No.
I don't know. Nintendo would say that we did.
We constantly on this podcast, we basically say fuck you, Nintendo, and it's just another fuck you, Nintendo moment. That's all.
Yeah.
We should get a fucking sound effect for it.
What?
for every time we have a "fuck you, Nintendo" moment.
We're putting Nintendo in the asshole cannon. We're shooting him into space.
Everybody but Reggie.
Yeah, no, Reggie can stay.
Reggie stays.
Reggie stays. Oh god. But yeah, so that's it. I think I have talked myself out.
we've done enough.
Yeah, I think we have too. Hopefully
Fucking
this
starving.
Yeah, hopefully this I am actually very hungry too. So hopefully this was a good episode. Again, Shannon's GoFundMe will be in the show notes, so please check that out.
Yep, you can also just find it on our Twitter or on the YouTube community page tab. Like, it's in many places.
And when this goes up on YouTube, it will be in the pinned comment as well, and probably in the description. So yeah, definitely please share. That's all I ask, is just to share. You know what I mean? But thank you so much for listening today. I know that the beginning of this, well, I think we went in with some.
The beginning was fun. It was all musical.
Yeah.
And then the middle was like, let's tell you a story about what's going on.
Yeah. Give you some history, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think it's something that we've all felt before. And again, if you're feeling tired, you know, there are ways to take a break. You can find a way to take a break. Like, I know you're saving that sick day, that vacation day to, you know, do fucking something, or like go out to beach or something like that. Take a day. It'll be okay. Take a long weekend. Do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday thing. Your work will be fine without you. It will be fine without you. Shit will continue to spin. That's why if you get pregnant, they'll just fucking get rid of you if you don't come back. And we've come full circle. All right, Tyler, you gonna say bye to the people?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
bye everybody.
Bye. Check us out. Google us, Bonsai Pop. You'll find us. We'll find you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.